And all right, let's double check the YouTube side, make sure we're good to go. All right, guys, what's going on? This is Travis P11. Welcome back. We are checking out Caliber Corner episode number 63, where for the first time in a long time, we have a very special guest. We've got Mark from the Fit and Fire channel that's going to be with us. We're also going to talk about budget precision shooting, how to get into it for, say, sub $400. And then also we're going to share with you our favorite rifles. So let's just go ahead and take attendance here and see who's with us over on the YouTube side. Let's see, Jim, I'm seeing you're over there. Midnight Range TM is joining us. David Bowling is there and here. And let's see who else is out there. Oh, my chat's a little bit wonky right now, so we'll catch you guys here in just a sec. And, oh, there we go. Now we got it back. Missed anybody? Okay, so over on the gun channel side, we got Patrick is with us, and Paper Plane Crash is also with us today. So let's go ahead and get started. We'll get things started right. We're going to go ahead and let the panel introduce themselves. We'll go ahead and start off. Oh, what's that, Tony?
There's about 8 of us here that should be really freaking offended that we're not considered very special guests.
Well, you guys are the panelists. You're the regulars here. You guys are the regular crowd. I mean, you guys, you know, you're here every week, and, you know, all of you are very special to me, Tony. I mean, you know, what else? You know, what else could I do? What else could I do? I couldn't do the show without you guys, Tony. What can I say? So, you know what, Tony, just because of that, we're going to start on my right. So, Tony, you're first. Why don't you let us know about how your day is going, what you're doing, what you've been doing on YouTube. How are things for you going, buddy? All right.
Things are going, I don't know, like Grandpa would go, I suppose. I'm watching the grandkids and their dog.
Any update on early watch? Is that going to happen anytime soon?
I'm planning to do something in January, but I don't know when yet.
Okay. Are we talking like a regular show? Are you going to try to get into a rotation, or what? What are you thinking?
I'll go back and do regular morning show throughout the week.
Awesome. Okay, cool. I look forward to it, man. Remember, you guys are the reason why I'm here doing this. You guys and G-Webs with the Daily Gun Show. You guys are the reasons why I do this show. So it's a lot of responsibility on your shoulders, man.
I'm going to need a revolving panel of co-hosts, I suppose.
Yeah. Well, if start up in January, I've got some time off for school. I can definitely jump in and help you get things going, or jump in a couple mornings if it's the least I can do, because you're with us every week. So cool. Are you going to be able to get Jimmy to join us?
I don't know. I haven't talked to Jimmy for a while. I need to.
Okay. Yeah.
I wanted to get a little closer to the event, so I had my timing figured out for sure.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. All right, man. Well, hey, I appreciate you being here like always. Ellis is with us. Ellis has got a little bit of a different schedule here because of a new job. So, Ellis, are you going to be with us every Saturday morning at this time before you go to work?
Well, that depends, because the schedule is different every week. So,
okay.
and my time to go in and get off is always going to be a little different. So sometimes I might go in at 9, sometimes I might go in 10 or 11. Just depends.
All right. So again, if anybody sees Ellis drop out, he's going to be heading out here in a little while. He's got some time. But Ellis, what can we expect on your channel, man? What are you doing over on YouTube? You got any plans for anything new? What's in the works right now, bud?
I'm planning on doing a one-on-one with Ghost Monday night.
Cool.
So yeah, it's been a little over a year since I've had him on. We sat down and did a one-on-one, so I figured it was about time getting back. As far as the Tuesday night show, guys, I am really not sure, because I'm not getting off work until 5, 6, 7 o'clock at night now. So it's iffy. I might have to schedule the Tuesday night show to a different day of the week at a later time. So it's just a matter of figuring out, you know, schedules and this, that, and the other, and when I can do it, and do it at a time slot where it's not interfering with anybody else's show. So. Okay.
Well, hey, if you ever want an 8 a.m. Saturday morning time slot, 9 a.m. your time, you just let me know, and I'll see what I can do for you, okay?
Yeah, not a problem, man. I appreciate you.
All right, man, cool. Squib is with us. Squib, are you waking up? Do you have that first cup of coffee down yet? I'm on number 2. You better catch up with me.
I'm only halfway through it. Here, let me take a big gulp.
There you go. There you go. See, Mark down there on the other end, he's got it all figured out. Every time you do that, this is a drinking game. Anytime Mark takes a sip, I'm going to take a sip. That's going to be bad. I got some 5-finger Death Punch blend today. This stuff is potent, man. I love it. One of my favorite coffees. I just wish I didn't have to order it, or, you know, wish I could get it locally, but Yeah. So Squib, all right. So where can somebody find you? What shows do you have? What do you got on your channel? I know we talk about this every week, but you never know. We've always got new people watching. So what can you tell us about your shows?
So I weasel into shows all week long. Monday night at 11 p.m. Eastern on the Hawaii Volcano Squad channel, we do Lock and Load. And then Tuesdays on the Sand Hill Shooters channel at around 10:30 Eastern.
9:30 Central for those that care.
Or don't.
Oh, by the way, Mark, I should let you know I'm glad you're with us, Mark, because there's a lot. We've created this rivalry between the time zones. We say that Central Time Zone is the most important because everything revolves around us.
Exactly.
So we have a neutral dialect when we speak. The time is in the center. Everything has to observe what we say. So that's why we're very pro Central Time Zone. So
speak for yourself on that neutral dialect there.
Oh, come on now, Jim. No, tell me. All right, so Squib. All right, so back to you, Squib. You're gonna have any new videos on the channel? Any ideas you're gonna put out there? Anything you'd like to try at all?
I've got tons of incomplete videos. I got lots of ideas. I just haven't had time lately.
Okay, no, I hear you, man. You're a busy man.
Not that the videos are anything spectacular. Yep. They're not. I do want to revisit my Lamat video. I really wasn't happy with it. Not only is it just kind of really just poorly shot, but I had nothing but problems with it. And I've had problems with it from the very first time I shot it 18 years ago. I think I need to go back and see if there's a way I can resolve some of those issues instead of just being negative about it. So
yeah.
I just don't have time for it right now.
No, I got you, man. But hey, you're with us here. I do appreciate it as always. You're always here to contribute your knowledge and share with us, and it's good to have you here. So thank you.
Yeah, well, thanks for the invite.
Cool. Sandhills, what's going on? Sandhills, what's new with you, buddy?
Well, thanks for having me here. We are on day number 5 or 6. I'm losing track now. At the hospital. Sandhill Sweetheart's been up here with some stuff. They're figuring out it's probably viral infection, and they're going to try and figure out which virus this is. And doctor said that we'll probably be here till at least Monday or Tuesday still.
Okay.
So I'll be kind of in and out. I've got to head to work here in a few minutes too. So I'll hang out as long as I can and contribute if I can.
Well,
Thanks for having
me. The updates because we worry about Mrs. We worry about Sandhill Sweetheart, so it's good to know if she's getting better, she's improving. So appreciate the updates, dude. But yeah, you do what you got to do, man. I appreciate you being here.
And let me just say, with all due respect to our friends from south of the border here in the Kansas area, it is game day. Go Big Red, and that's not to take away from purple or blue or anything else.
All right. Okay, thanks for being here, buddy. All right, so Jim is back with us. Jim, can you give us an update on the grandson?
Oh, he's still in the hospital as well. So they've taken out this large cyst, but he's still leaking lymphatic fluid, and they're still working on a way to permanently stop that. But in the meantime, they started him on this new wonder butt drug called sirolimus that I'd never heard of before this week.
Okay.
To try to slow it down.
Okay.
So
all right, man. Well, hopefully he improves too. We're glad to have you back. And like I said, if you got stuff that pops up, you got to go whatever. It's all good, man. I know you got, and I appreciate you being here because I know you're busy with the family and you're trying to keeping everybody updated. So
I'm like the only one awake in the whole house right now, so it's kind of nice.
You probably had an exhausting week. I'm sure the family's probably worn out. So yeah. Well, we'll try not to make too much noise and wake them up. Okay.
There you go. Hey, even the birds being quiet.
Oh, I know. It's kind of nice, isn't it?
Yep.
That's rare. I know my dog's crashed over in the corner. So, all right, man. So Gizzard Gary, my neighbor to the south. What do you know, sir? What's going on?
Well, I don't know any more than I have to.
Okay.
But no, I appreciate the invite.
Yeah.
My website's gizzardgary.com. Haven't got a whole lot going on lately. I just got done with the 357 subscriber giveaway. And I, like most of the people here, seems like I'm going to have to leave about halfway through and take off to go see my daughter. So
Okay, no problem, man. Hey, appreciate you being here, so thank you so much, man. Good stuff. All right, and the special guest, special guest, because you guys are all special guests. Special guest for today, we got Mark from Fit and Fire. And so, Mark, why don't you just, I got a ton of questions for you. I just want to get your channel out there, get some information because you got a lot of awesome content on your channel. Just give us a little heads up on what your channel's about. Just kind of give us a little summary, and we'll get started.
Right on. Well, thank you so much for having me. I've been following you, just a kind of fanboy here, just a little bit. I've been following you for over a year now because I was in the market for a Sky CP2X,
CPX2.
Yeah, there we go. If I can get the numbers correct. Let me take another drink of coffee right here.
Oh, drinking game. All right, keep up with you.
Yeah. But yeah, that's where I kind of stumbled across your channel and have been watching it since. You know, you and I kind of have like mindsets that we're just kind of down to earth, and we just want to be able to help provide good information to people. So my channel is realistically all about, you know, guns, gear, and the fitness to run both. That's where the fit part comes into. Now, most of that stuff is going to be found on my Instagram page. And actually, tomorrow I will be starting a new vlog detailing some information about what I'm doing to really make a commitment to my fitness level and making sure that I'm living as healthy as I can, and talk about the different things that I do on a regular basis, and just have that for everybody on a weekly basis. I don't know if people are going to be interested in it, but we'll see what happens, right? So thanks for having me. I sure do appreciate it.
No, man, that's awesome. That's good. It's not that I'm against it, but I usually don't have a lot of just special guests, and a lot of people just aren't up at this time, and you know, it worked out for your schedule. So I'm glad you're here, man. This is awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny you say it works for my schedule, because typically I am still asleep at this time.
Yes, yeah, most of the world is. See, nobody wanted this time slot. That's why I had to grab it, because I had the corner on the market. I'm like, oh, it's 8 o'clock on a Saturday in my time. Yeah. Why not? You know. Yeah. But like I've said before, I do this podcast for people that might be on the road. Somebody's got a project to do. They want to just play something in the background. You know, that's kind of what lured me into the whole gun podcast thing in the first place, was having something to listen to while I was working on the house. And, you know, I try to kind of get back the same to the community. So it's a lot of fun. Yeah. All right. Cool. Well, thanks for being here. We'll come right back to you because I got the questions on standby. David Bowling is with us. David, how's your morning going, dude?
I'm doing quite well. Thanks for having me, Travis.
All right. You awake today? You ready to rock and roll?
Oh, yeah. I'm ready to go.
Heck yeah. Let's see, who's telling on me over there? Calaveras 32, Slim Fire. What'd you say? Fit and Fire, Slim Jim, Candy Spam, Cupcakes, Cream Cakes, LOL. Yes, what I like about what Mark does is there's an important aspect that is severely lacking from gun videos and just the firearms community. The fitness side, right? 9 out of 10 guys that have a gun channel have a dad bod. That's not even a research topic. That's just a fact. And so what lured me into the Fit and Fire channel was your second video, I think, was maybe like I was thinking, like a breakfast meal shake or something. And then you still do a lot with the training and fitness aspect. And I like that because you don't get that on a lot of those channels unless you go to an exclusive fitness channel. And when you do, they're just trying to sell you on some diet. They're trying to sell you on some fad or something. So yeah, first of all, tell us about your channel, the origin of it. Why'd you decide to go ahead and start it? What was it that kind of lit the fire for Fit and Fire?
Well, to be frankly honest with you, what really started me down my path was I wanted to start a YouTube channel that was going to be completely different than what I originally intended. I wanted to start a hunting YouTube channel, right? Because I'm a very avid hunter when it comes to fall with deer season here in Kansas, and then it bleeds into upland bird game and coyote hunting in the mid to late winter. And so I wanted to do something like that, and then quickly realized that I suck as a hunter. I'm not very good at all. So people would just come to my channel to watch me bumble around, and I was like, that's not going to work. Then I came across a gentleman by the name of Johnny Baggins with 180-second ideas and thought, you know what, this dude, he's doing this. He's doing it out of his garage. I think I could do this, you know? Yeah. And this was way early in Johnny's career. He had only been on for about 9 months at that point. I sent him an email and said, hey, I'm thinking of starting a channel. He actually responded, gave me some advice, and off I went in July of last year, and it's been going gangbusters since. Now,
the channel, I've seen tremendous growth in it, and what I really like about your channel, and again, not to get away from the origin of the channel, but you got some really cool connections. You show off some neat industry items that you don't see on other channels, whether it's like a certain type of barrel or a handguard or a handgun, or there's a neat, unique set of gear that you present to us that you don't really get to see. Seems like when one channel gets a piece of gear, like 8 other guys are going to review that gear, but you get some really cool little bits of kit that you show off that I don't see on other channels. And I like that. I like that aspect about it because I can go to your channel and see something different every time you post a video.
Yeah, and I like to try to keep it as simple as if I wanted to buy that, right? What would I want to know about it first, right? And naturally, that's what a review does. A lot of people and a lot of the individuals in the community right now are kind of upset with a lot of YouTubers because they try to see they almost see them as shills a little bit. And yeah, I get free product from certain companies and that's cool and everything. But the thing I really try to do is I always try to find something that can be improved, because regardless of what's out there, there can always be something that could be improved. So I say, hey, this is great, but you have these items that I have concern with. Like, great example is the Daniel Defense, their DDM4 V7 300 Blackout, right? They sent me one. I shot it. It's awesome. I had a lot of fun with it, but there's a couple of issues with it, and I try to dispel that in the video. So that's what I try to do. I don't try to make it sound like this is the best thing ever, you need to buy it. You know, I can't.
Well, you know, as I've discovered, I purchased firearms based off of, I'll see 3 or 4 of the top YouTubers pushing a firearm. Let's take the Sky CPX2 for instance, and I'm not going to spend too much time on it because it's been a whole saga in my YouTube career. But I bought one after watching the Iraqi veteran video where he beat the hell out of it. I bought it after watching the Such video. And I get it, and within 1,000 rounds, it basically fell apart. It needed a new slide, new barrel, and new guide rod just to function properly. And then guys say, well, yeah, but you got that lifetime warranty. Sky took care of you. They did, but what if that thing wouldn't have fired? The first time it didn't go bang at the range. I've been carrying it for 3 years, and I thought, okay, this is not good. And then it started having extraction problems. I'm like, well, wow, okay, this is a gun that I was depending my life on. And here are these, everybody keeps praising, oh, it's this awesome durable handgun. It's American ingenuity and quality. And I really started having problems with it about 1,000 rounds down the road. Yeah. And a lot of guys say, well, that's a pocket gun, or it's a compact carry gun. It's not designed for that kind of range count. No, I say BS to that. It needs to function. If they expect us to train and practice with these guns, we want to be a good shot. And I know the bulk of Sky CPX2 owners are going to buy it, put a mag in it, shoot it, put it in a drawer and forget about it. But that really kind of got me, and then there's been other guns I purchased too that have had problems that were pushed by the industry.
Yep. So just real quick on the CPX2. I can't even get the words out of my mouth.
I'm still trying to forget it too. Don't worry about that. Yeah. So how's it been for you?
Oh, it's I don't know, because I sold it.
Oh, okay. Did you have frame pin issues with yours like I did? Did you
I had slide issues is what I had, right? So it wouldn't
battery.
Yeah, well, I had a few times it wouldn't go in battery, and then I had a number of times that it wouldn't lock back with the last round. So and then the other thing is I didn't like the whole double action trigger aspect of it.
It's very heavy. You can get used to it, but it is not a comfortable gun to shoot. I mean, after you can get used to it, but a lot of people complain about having a hand that's sore for a day or two after firing 50 or 100 rounds through, because it's just the way it is. I was used to it, but you do 150, 200 rounds to that thing, man, you're going to know it.
Yeah. Yesterday I was talking to a guy while I was shopping with the wife, and he said that he actually bought one for his wife, and he had an ND, right? She kept it in the glove box, loaded, ready to go. She opened the glove box and it fell out. And when it fell, it fired and went through the back seat of their car. And I was like, no way. And he's like,
how is that possible? Because it has a hammer system built into the slide. I mean,
right?
It had to have been like cocked back, or maybe the trigger was, maybe it was stuck and just the force caused the hammer to drop.
Something, I don't know. But
here's what drives me nuts about this gun is it's pushed so heavily. Classic Firearms, they advertise it every 2 months. It's available in 12 colors. It's $199.99. And you see it as a Black Friday gun, and you see it, and it gets all these rave reviews, but I just don't think it gets the round count that, like I said, the average buyer is going to buy it, put a mag through it, and forget about it. So, and here's the deal. Yeah.
The reason they sell is you've got people who want to get into guns. They don't know anything about guns, and they don't want to spend a lot of money, or they see that high price tag and they think, that's ridiculous. Why would I do that when I can get this one? They're all the same, aren't they? Or you got somebody who wants to get their wife into guns and she's not interested, but then you get it in a certain color and ooh, pretty, and that's how they sell it. Or you've got somebody who has $100 extra in their pocket or $200 extra in their pocket. They haven't bought a gun in a while. They're itching just to buy a gun. They just want to buy one. What can I afford with? Oh, I've got enough money to buy this, and that's how they end up selling the guns. They're not a good gun. but you've got people that don't know or don't care. They just want to make that purchase, and I think Sky knows that. I think that's how they stay relevant.
Okay, so now here's my question for you, Mark. Have you had the experience with the Taurus PT111 or the G2C or G2S?
Actually, I do. I just put out a video 3 weeks ago that's doing fairly well about the Taurus G2C. It was an unboxing. I have a video I hope to have out next week that will be the top 3 reasons why I hate the G2C. And I've got 500 rounds through it. I pulled it right out of the box. I didn't clean it. I didn't do anything with it. Literally just pulled it out of the box and went to the range and shot it. A whole bunch of rounds through it. Now, I won't say that it isn't a gun that I won't keep. I more likely will keep it, but there are some issues that I'm going to have to figure out how to upgrade that pistol to make sure that it's to my liking, you know. But I actually think the G2C is a viable option, and I think it's tons better than the Sky. Yep, and it's at the exact same price point. So.
Yeah, complaints about that gun that I've seen. Everybody that I seem to know, it seems to shoot low and to the left for everyone. No, regardless of how you adjust the sights. I even put Trijicon metal sights, night sights on mine, and that did help. Guys have complained about a long trigger pull, that it's got about a half an inch of dead space before you hit the wall, but it's a very loosey-goosey trigger until you hit the wall. The safety. I mean, yeah, I'll be looking forward to your video because, and again, I like it, but it's not the perfect gun. But yeah, I definitely see it for the same price as CPX2. I would rather go that route. The only thing to remember about the Taurus guns, and I don't know if you test a lot of them, but they do pack them heavily with like a manufacturing oil, which is it's thick. It's like a low viscosity motor oil. When you take it apart, they are gross. I mean, So I mean, if you would have had any malfunctions, I wouldn't have been surprised if it would have been some carbon fouling due to the excessive oil inside the gun. Every Taurus gun I've ever purchased is it's like a Cosmoline basically, but it comes off with CLP. So it's an interesting thing. But that'll be cool to see that video come out. Yeah, there's so many people that rip on that gun, but there's such a hot seller, and there's so many videos out there on YouTube on it that it is kind of a love it or hate it gun, or it's a kind of buy it and live with it kind of gun. It makes a good maybe glove box gun or a good gun for the for like the garage or something. A lot of people, my family has probably 4 of them, and my stepdad does daily carry his. Yep. He bounces between that and a Smith & Wesson Shield. Yeah, so no, I hear you. That'll be interesting to see that video when it comes out. And so a little bit more about the channel. Where does the name come from, Fit and Fire?
That actually comes from my my best friend, Drew. He lives down in Wichita. Interestingly enough, the vice president was down in Wichita yesterday. Was it yesterday or Thursday? And he got to ride in the motorcade with him and be part of his detail, and that was actually really cool to see. But I was talking to him and kicking the idea back and forth, and he's like, "Well, I mean, what are you into? You're going to the gym like every single day. I don't understand. Anytime I talk to you, you're like, oh, I got to go to the gym. I'll call you back." Yeah. And naturally, we both were into guns and have always been, mainly because of our military service. But we were just kicking some ideas around. And he's like, "Why not do?" Fit and Fire? And I was like, "All right, that's pretty cool. I like that." And he said, "Yeah, man, you just keep on dropping those bells and shells." And I was like, that's a cool little tagline." Yeah. I've kind of grown out of the tagline, but yeah, it's pretty. That's pretty much where it came from.
Okay. Hey, so real quick, Ghost Tactical is with us. Ghost, you want to give us a quick plug for the channel? And welcome, man. I appreciate you being here this morning. We have a special guest. We got Mark from Fit and Fire that's with us. How you doing, buddy?
What's going on, buddy? How you doing, Mark? Yeah, I got nothing really. I mean, just the channel's out there. Yeah. I am dropping the latest episode of the Armed Citizen podcast on Sunday or tomorrow. And it's with Julie Gala. And it's a great podcast. So go check it out on Podbean, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spotify, all those things. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah. So for anybody just joining in, everybody that's on this panel, I think almost all of us have some sort of gun video content that's out there on multiple platforms. Definitely get over to gunchannels.com and sign up for it. And Ghost, man, between Ghost and Mark, I think I have enough. I got some good training, some good solid training advice to kind of take care of me. So that kind of moves me to my next topic. When it comes to, for you, now you've got former military experience. When it comes to training now, what do you look for in a company that you want to go train with, or some sort of like range time? How do you pick a good, like, say, firearms training course? Where does somebody even begin with that?
I first would look at their resume. If they have any good instructor should have some type of resume posted on their website or on their social media or whatever the case may be. They should have a good grasp of obviously training. Naturally, you have to hit all the high points, your NRA training and some other things, but you want to find a trainer who also trains themselves. So individuals that may go out to Thunder Ranch or train with Haley Strategic or Knockout Lights or whatever the case may be. But they should have some type of law enforcement background personally. This is just my personal opinion. Law enforcement background, military background, or have been doing it for such a prolonged period of time that they should have some type of basic understanding of A, the 4 firearm rules, and B, what does a average citizen need to know to defend themselves, right? We can talk about shooting freaking double taps at 50 yards all day long, but that's not going to help you in 3 yards. That's another great video that I'm going to have coming out here very, very soon. I'm hoping to get some more B-roll this weekend, but the video that I have a whole bunch of freaking insider information right here. But what happens when someone is within 7 yards and they come after you, right? I've been training with my trainer, my jiu-jitsu trainer, Cole. He's big into the idea of personal defense, loves my channel. And he's like, hey, we should do a video on how are you going to defend yourself if you're carrying EDC, your pistol, whatever it is, and someone charges you at, say, 3 yards. What do you do then? So we're going to talk about that, but that's what I look for. So some of the people that I've trained with is Ken from Provictus Group. He was a contractor in Iraq. He spent, I think, 10 years in law enforcement and then has been training for the last 5-6 years. Okay. I've trained with Daniel Shaw. I think a lot of people know him. When he was down in Wichita at Thunderbird Firearms Academy, God rest your soul. And then Andy Padilla took over that, and I took a defensive carbine course from them. And then tactical response, I've been out there to train with James Yeager, and I am working on scheduling time to work with KD from NOC Firearms Training out of St. Louis to train with him as well. So definitely a good group of variety to take from. Definitely. And then hopefully 2019, I'm hoping to train with John Lovell. So that's the goal for 2019.
So from the fitness aspect of the channel, because again, that's a unique portion that you don't see in a lot of gun channels, is the whole fitness, mind, body, soul. Where does a person even begin if they want to get into some sort of a training regimen? Because I can imagine that these courses that you do, if you were out of shape, if you were me, you would probably not be doing very well after the first day, because you don't run more than 20 or 30 yards at a time. You don't jog on a regular basis. Where's a guy even begin? Where do you start? What should you take a look at if you want to begin to better yourself so you can be more efficient with your training in firearms?
Yeah, the very first thing you need to do is you need to set a goal. You need to set a very attainable goal. Say, I want in the next 30 days, I want to drop 5 pounds, 5 solid pounds, not like water weight, but I want to drop 5 pounds. Or
not military diet weekend 5 pounds, right?
Exactly, right? So, but another goal may be, I want to start a gym and I want to go there and work out 3 times. In the first week, and then maybe the second week I want to get there 4 times, or mimic the 3 times and get that through a month. You really have to set obtainable goals. That's the biggest thing. Whether it be, you need to shed some pounds, or you want to start a regiment and maintain that regiment, or even something just as simple as changing your diet. If you were to eliminate a lot of carbs out of your diet, then that is going to go gangbusters for you, because my vlog that I'll put out tomorrow is going to talk about just that. Last week, this past week, I fixed my diet, got back on the horse to say, eliminated a lot of carbs, and just in 1 week I dropped 6 pounds. So no, I take that back. Yeah, no, that's right, 6 pounds. I went from 194 to 188. So that is, and that's not water weight, that's solid pounds, because I was watching myself progress through the week.
Okay.
And it'll be interesting to see what happens tomorrow, because my daughter's birthday was yesterday, so we went out and had some hibachi. And
Hibachi-san, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
that's good stuff, man. That's my downfall.
Oh, it is right. That and donuts for me. Oh gosh.
Yes.
So those are the things that you should look for, and then you need to find a really good gym. Now, personally, I like the high intensity interval training style of workout. So what that is you have, say, like, I don't know, 6 to 8 different stations, and then you bounce from one station to another through a round robin style of workout. The gym that I go to is called 9 Round, and it's a kickboxing / boxing style. It's 9 stations. Each station's 3 minutes each, and then you get a 30-second break between each station. But that break is an active break. So you're either doing jumping jacks, or you're doing crunches, or you're doing plank and hold, or squat and kick, or something like that. And then each station is supposed to gear you towards training for fisticuffs. So it's a lot of fun. And I burn average about 500 calories per workout. So you'll get your heart rate up for sure.
Now, for those of us that live in small towns, I live in a town of 10,000. We've got a YMCA and we've got a 24-hour fitness. Just because you have those things, don't think you can't do intensive training. I know our YMCA offers boot camps that you can do. We do have, not too far away, they do some of the Spartan runs and things like that. So I think you just have to kind of look at the resources that you have. Obviously, look at videos like yours to get ideas for training, because a lot of that stuff you can do at home too. I think there's a fitness aspect that's definitely lacking in the gun community, because a lot of these guys, might be ex-military, might be ex-law enforcement, and haven't been in shape since they got out, or you kind of get into a sedentary lifestyle. You settle down, you have children, you start to work more, the pounds start to come on, and you spend your weekends playing softball and drinking beer instead of taking care of yourself during the week. So I think it's an important thing, because health is a big issue, especially as we get older. It can limit what you can do firearms wise and training wise. And it can take out maybe how efficient you are with your firearms.
Yeah, and one real quick point is, if you've ever had to drive a couple hours to go to a range, and one of the long range ranges that I'm trying to get to, because I think we're going to talk about precision shooting, and that's one of the things that I'm trying to tackle this year as well. Is I have to drive a couple hours to get to a range that I can reach out longer than 100 yards, and I can tell you that after going out and shooting an afternoon and then driving back that 2 hours, I'm just exhausted.
Okay.
Right? And
yeah.
Why are you exhausted? And a lot of people don't realize how much a range session will take a toll on a person's body. Now take that into a 30 to 45 second violent encounter where adrenaline has just been dumped into your body. And then once you're done with that encounter, hopefully everything turns out okay. Yeah. You're usually sitting there shaking, right? Because your adrenaline has been pumping.
Yeah. We've all had that feeling at least once in our lives, right?
Right. And then you go into, in some cases, some people go into shock, right? So shock can actually be fatal to certain individuals. If you're not, that's why I'm really trying to promote the healthy aspect of it, to kind of counteract those issues after you've had a violent encounter. And, statistically speaking, not everyone's going to be involved in one, but there's always the potential, depending on where you live. For most of us guys on the panel, myself included, we live pretty much in smaller towns, in, as I've seen in the chat room, the flyover states, which is fine.
We'll keep all that beautiful public hunting ground for ourselves. We don't have to share
exactly right. So
you can miss out on it. I'm cool with that. That's just more for me. So,
or we'll survive the zombie apocalypse a little bit better. So
basically, because we can see for miles, so we can see what's coming at us. So that's not a problem. But
so anyway, fitness aspect is a good way to combat the ability to survive a fight. That's the point.
And you might have law enforcement that watch your videos. You might have military that watch, guys in the military, maybe contractors, security personnel watch your videos. That again, the training aspect is lacking, and that's why Again, I like to check out your channel because you've got a good variety of training and suggestions and diet, and and that part's great because as we get older, you start to run into the health complications. Okay, so let's switch gears here a little bit. What is your favorite firearm in your arsenal? What is your absolute favorite that you own? What is your favorite rifle? Do you have a favorite just go-to that you could just take to the what would be the one you're going to grab in an SHTF situation if you got to defend your family or your home? What would be your go-to?
So the one that I have ready to go in a second is the one right here behind me. That's my Aero Precision pistol build. I just dropped a video on that yesterday to talk about some of the different upgrades that I've done to it.
Yeah, I watched it. That was an awesome video. There's a lot of cool suggestions on there.
Yeah. So it's already set up, ready to go for a suppressor. I just need to determine which suppressor I'm going to buy, and I'm going to pick that up in 2019 as well. So that's my go-to. It's a build. About the only thing I'm not happy with, but it's still a really, really great option, is the barrel. It's a Palmetto State Armory 10.5 inch 1 7 twist 5.56 barrel. It's chrome lined, so it works, and it's fairly accurate for 10.5. But I'd like to upgrade that to maybe a Roscoe or Faxon barrel. We'll see about that. Yeah. So, but that's my favorite pistol. It's the one I take to the range. I'm a big Aero fan. And then when it comes to like actual handguns, what I mostly carry right now, which is a bit controversial, is my P365. I've had a lot of success with this, so happy with that. Or my Glock 19 that I've kind of Gucci'd out and put an RMR on and have a Faxon barrel with it's a Faxon threaded barrel. So did some stippling on the grip. So
I was on the fence. I was going to buy a P365. I was looking at one in the store that I buy my guns from here locally. I ended up just buying a Ruger EC9S. I wanted just a small compact carry. And there's a major price difference between the two. On that P365, are you dealing with the striker drag issue that Mac had over on Military Arms channel? How many rounds do you have through yours right now?
I've got about, I think, close to 500-600 on it through right now. I just take it out and just fire probably about 50 to 100 rounds per range session just to exercise it, But I would say that with that, yes, I have the striker drag issue, but it's not specific to the P365. There's a number of the subcompacts, to include the Glock 43, that will have those issues. Well, I don't even know if it's called issues. I think it's just inherent with
the design the timing, the way the timing is on the compact pistol. It's so fast that it's such a short slide that it drags. So are you worried about any kind of, have you had any parts replacements, or have you sent it in for a replacement firing pin? Because that was a problem that Mac had, is I think the tip of his firing pin broke and then the gun wouldn't fire.
No, his first one, he had a trigger reset spring break.
Oh yeah, I remember that. Yeah, he would hold it upside down and it would fire.
That's right.
It would not fire. Yeah,
But no, I've had no issues. I know that it may fail in the future, but as it stands right now, I don't think I'm going to have a problem with it. The born on date.
I was kind of curious when you got yours.
I picked mine in May, so it was a May manufacturing, so it's kind of like the Gen 2-ish versions. So I think I'm good, but time will tell.
Well, and that gun, it's small, but it's amazing how well it fits the palm. You put that and it's like, okay, this has got 10 rounds. It's 10 rounds of 10+1. And it just fits your hand. You're like, man, I would love to take one of these home. But then again, you watch the videos and all these guys are having problems with it. And it's like, okay, did they get an early run, an early production one? Did they get hold of one in January or February when they first came out? But yeah, so I'm kind of curious about that to see how well that holds up. So do you keep us updated on that? Because I think it's a gun that interests a lot of people because it's just small and it's just a nice gun and it's got the higher capacity that people like than say a single stack 9, which is the one limit that I have with mine is I'm 8+1 or 7+1 on that EC9S. I've got an extended mag coming for it, but still,
Yep. So it'll probably talk about I'll probably do like a 500, 600, whatever round update when I do my video on the hidden hybrid holster.
Oh yeah.
Holsters that they sent out to have me wear and check out. It's different for me because it's more of a 4 o'clock carry with that holster, and I'm not used to that. I've got back issues, so I like appendix carry myself. Everybody's like, "Oh, you're gonna shoot your wang off," and I'm like, "Whatever."
If you're careful with how you reholster, if you're conscious of what you do, if you practice it enough, you should be okay. I mean, you can your gun can go off when you put it in a 3 o'clock carry. It can get caught on the corner of your Kydex if you're not paying attention and go off. It can go off at any angle. You know, I used to do small to back carry, then I finally quit doing it because people kept saying, you get knocked on your back, it's going to break a vertebrae. I'm like, okay, that's a good point. So because small to back for my body style, that's the easiest way for me to conceal. Well, now I've just gone with a slightly larger pan size with the 3 o'clock carry, and I can comfortably conceal with it inside the waistband holster. You know, appendix carry, that should be my fitness goal, to actually be able to appendix carry, to be able to. I mean, that right there you go, because I've got a nice appendix carry holster for my Glock 17, and I can't comfortably, I can wear it, but I can't comfortably drive with it or walk with it or anything like that, you know, holstered like that. So that is pretty cool. Guys, anybody here on the panel have a question for Mark at all from Fit and Fire? Any questions you guys might have for him? Anything about the training aspect or about firearms in general? Anything you guys want to say? He's got a lot of experience with training in general.
Yeah. Do you have any specific exercises that you recommend for the shooting sports itself?
So I would say 2 things. One would be, you know, a good core, any type of core workout. I don't recommend sit-ups, but you know, if you can get one of those ab wheels, one of those ab rollers. I know it sounds kind of hokey, but those do a really
you feel
great
it when you do 10 just reps with that. It's like, oh my god, you know.
It'll smoke you real quick. Or just so a couple different things you can do is like just any type of core workout that's going to really engage your core. So push-ups are actually, surprisingly enough, is going to be a really great core workout, and you're also working out your upper body as well. So tons and tons and tons of push-ups. If you've got shoulder issues, I would recommend like plank and hold. So plank and hold is nothing more than just going down to your elbows and just holding your body up, you know, and just keeping a rigid frame for your body. The other thing is cardio. Just maintain your cardio as best you can, whether that's walking. Just surprisingly enough, if you walk at a brisk pace, that's low impact, and you can get your heart rate up pretty good and maintain it. And cardio is such a low, or walking is such a low impact way to burn calories too, because if you're wanting to burn fat, you want to keep your heart rate kind of in the sweet spot where it's about 70 to 80% of your max, and that's going to tap into those, you know, those fat cells. So those are some of the easy things that I would recommend. You know, I wanted to start doing some workout at the range videos, but you know, I'm trying to figure out how am I going to do that for individuals that don't necessarily have a range to themselves. So got to figure that one out.
You talked about coming up here to Nebraska to come shoot with me, and Squib here has been to my range. If you want to do some fun long range shooting, come up here because we go out to 2,000 yards.
Oh, that range is awesome. That range is awesome.
We have a camera system set up so you can see where your shots are hitting. We have to have the range officer with us. It's kind of a babysit yourself range, which I like. Everybody knows what the rules are that are there. You don't feel endangered at all, but we can get the tower set up with the camera system, and you can do, if you want to, however far you want to go buy that 50 BMG you've always wanted, or that 338 Lapua, and we'll make it happen. So if you want to come up this summer and do some long range shooting, let me know. I generally don't go past 500 yards, but they've got targets every 100 yards all the way out to 2,000.
Cool. Yeah, so, I definitely want to do that because I just got this week something from Aero Precision. I'm not going to talk about it too much, but
no, that's fine. That's fine. We might talk about something similar to it, but yeah,
I will say it's a 6.5 Creedmoor, and I want to challenge. I want to put this together and challenge it against the Ruger Precision rifle. So
okay.
I need to find some place that I can reach out to 500 to 1,000 yards.
Oh yeah, dude, we can make that happen. You probably be up here in 4 hours. Let's go this afternoon. Come on.
All right.
Actually, no, they're doing a full auto machine gun shoot at the range today. So we wouldn't be able to use the long range. They do a lot of classes on the weekends, but about 2 weekends a month, the Saturday and Sundays, it's open. You can go out and do the rifle shooting. Busier towards deer season because a lot of guys are out there sighting in the rifles. But when I film in the summertime, many times I have the entire range to myself. There's nobody there. The range officer might be out there, but it's also a ranch. It's a working cattle ranch.
Oh, okay.
So cool. A lot of the times they've got livestock and they do farming around the whole area, but it's all a sectioned off firing range. So I mean, you might not realize it, but then you got the Platte River on your left. So it is kind of naturally is enclosed. Unfortunately, we can't shoot past 2,000 yards because then the rounds would be landing in Kansas. So we have to limit it because I'm only 20. I'm just kidding. I'm 20 miles away from the Kansas border.
You have to call ceasefire when the tractor goes by.
Yeah, no, yes. If there's time you see me looking off to the side when I'm filming, it's because they're doing like there's a tractor going behind me, or there's a grain truck going by, or I have to let the combine go in front of me. It's like, no, seriously, it's that rural out here, man. Yeah.
My wife's brother is down in Lex right now. He's probably shooting his Barrett today.
Oh, is he at the full auto shoot? Yeah, they bring a couple Barretts out there. Hornady does a lot. We do a lot with Hornady also, ammunition. They do a lot of sponsoring, but many times they'll provide the ammo, and you can buy the ammo basically at Walmart cost for these kinds of shoots and these kinds of events. There's a lot of Hornady guys that test their ammo at our range. They're actually, the ballistics information you see on those charts on the website comes from our range. I mean, they bring out all their chrono equipment. They very, very well set up crew that comes out there. So it's a lot of fun. All right, so now you did a video a couple months ago. It was kind of gave me the chills. I think you might have been on vacation in Colorado. You guys out in Aspen, and if I'm not mistaken, it was the one where you talked about seeing the end of gun videos on YouTube. And I believe you said that you just don't see it lasting. And we know that there's Gunstreamer, UGEtube, gunchannels.com, guntube.org. And here I got an email from a fellow YouTuber that said that I think Mac has seen a lot more demonetization and more hits on his videos for just like an EDC backpack get home video that he made. And he already got not a strike, but it was violating community guideline standards, or it was a video that they said could not be monetized. I mean, where do you see, what is the future of gun videos on YouTube? Do you think we're going to be gone in a year from now?
I don't know the time frame, but I do honestly feel the end is nigh. I think that, with the way that the political climate is going, and you would think that the incident that they had at the YouTube facility in California would have been an eye-opening experience. That, oh crap, people who go in and do things aren't normal people, and they're not right-leaning people. They're just people who have something going wrong. So I think I don't want to get into that rabbit hole, but I do think that our time is limited, and I think that we should do the best that we can with the time that we do have. And one of the things that I do on Monday nights is a live chat called Keep Calm and Carry, and that is something to bring in individuals to talk about the state of the Second Amendment and try to put a human face to it, right? So exclusive here, Monday, I'm going to have Eric from the Gun Owners of America. So the CEO of Gun Owners of America is going to be on live chat. So we're going to talk.
Mr. Pratt? Pratt? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. I completely mispronounced his name for some reason.
No. I don't think is it Eric or Eric? Because I think it's ERICH. So
yeah, that's right. So I got to meet him at Iraq Veteran 88's Range Day a couple weekends ago, and asked him if he would interested to be on. He said absolutely, because obviously the midterm elections are coming up. So, but anyway, with YouTube, we need to find a way to just kind of be together as a gun community and show the rest of people that we're not extremists. We just want to protect ourselves. We know that cops are not going to be able to protect us. So we should protect ourselves, right? So,
but it doesn't fit the agenda of Silicon Valley, where all this stuff is coming from. It doesn't fit the agenda of Google or YouTube or the people bankrolling it. Now, the one little sign of hope I will say is I've seen more pro-gun advertisements on my videos than more than just the NRA video where the guy was talking about getting arrested. I've seen Sportsman's Guide. God, what was that I saw the other night? There was one that was like an all sports. I think it was Sportsman's Guide. So I'm seeing more like pro firearms, pro outdoors advertisers on YouTube. Maybe YouTube is realizing that they can't thrive without a gun community presence because of the revenue coming in. They've got their big, but here's the deal. They cut out the gun channels. They cut out the views. They cut out the revenue coming in. The big corporations that are paying for advertising on YouTube, they're not going to take an interest in YouTube if it's not getting the exposure they want. And so we might be a small percentage of YouTube, but if you look at the revenue that gun sales, ammunition, firearms, everything outdoor and shooting related brings in, it's a pretty sizable chunk of just the. I know for Nebraska, it's hundreds of millions of dollars of revenue every year. because they boast about it, that's why we have such a pro, wildlife and firearm friendly state, because of the revenue the money brings in for the state. So you cut off that source of revenue and you're going to be cutting yourself off altogether.
Yeah.
I don't think companies like Google, YouTube, Facebook, all of these, they understand the gun culture. They probably, they got lawyers and they got marketing people and they got, management that probably looks at us the way the general public still looks at us. We're doing what we can a little at a time to kind of educate people so that they can decide with facts instead of decide with emotions or with stereotypes.
Yeah.
But these companies just don't. They lawyer up and they're erring on the side of what they think is going to cost them the least amount of money in the long run. And they don't. Travis, you're talking about a lot of positive things that make sense, but your average person who doesn't know anything about guns doesn't understand what you're saying. Everything you're saying is absolutely correct, and I agree with you. It's just it's unfortunate that it's just the way things are portrayed that the average person just doesn't understand something so positive.
Yeah.
Agreed.
No,
yeah.
man.
I think one of the things that I really hate is the fact when you get one of those notifications that says that your video is not appropriate for advertising.
Ad revenue. Yeah.
Exactly. But they'll continue to run ads on your channel.
The same ads that play whether it's monetized or not.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
they get the money for it and you don't. I think
in some places that's probably called extortion, but we agree to their terms of service, so we don't have a choice. So
yeah.
Hey, Mark, there is some encouragement from the Gun Channel side. If you don't have one yet, we want to see you sign up for gunchannels.com. Maybe you've tried it in the past. I know there were some technical issues with the website. It has improved now tremendously. So if you want to get your content over there, bring your channel over there, post your videos, have a presence on gunchannels.com. Most of those guys that are over there are also in a lot of the other panels and videos, or they belong to it. There's a lot of bigger channels that are part of gunchannels.com. So have you signed up yet, or have you considered or looked into it at all?
I've looked into it. I don't recall. I looked into it quite some time ago on your recommendation. I need to go back to it. I got diverted. My attention got diverted with UGEtube, and then it got diverted again with
Gunstreamer
and 2A vids. So the one thing I like about Gunstreamer is that once you dump your video onto Gunstreamer, even if you use your YouTube URL, it gets pulled into their server. So if your channel goes away on YouTube, it stays on Gunstreamer, which I think is pretty awesome. So
what's cool on Gun Channel is you can take your podcast and you can have your own channel page, and you can just cut and paste your link to your video right there, so people on Gun Channels can go watch it there if they want to also. And then don't forget, guntube.org too is another good place to put your videos. It's the software, in my opinion, is just as efficient as Gunstreamer and UGEtube. Guntube.org also offers live streaming. So if we ever use our podcasting abilities, we ever lose them on YouTube, Guntube.org's got that option for you also. I was hoping Night Strike would be here this morning. He's the CEO, the founder, the man behind Guntube.org. Has handled a lot of the programming and software and promotion for it. So, and he's finally starting to get some ad revenue over there too, because that's self-funded. He's not doing AdSense revenue at all, which so many other websites do, because when you put your Google AdSense revenue on there, they will say, oh, well, we don't like this channel or that video, so we're not going to give you this portion of the revenue for that channel. So, I mean, it takes money to run these websites. People need to understand that. And he's got a Patreon channel with not a lot of patrons. And so to launch your own gun web service, your own gun website hosting company, it's an incredible investment revenue. And so there's a lot of options out there, but get over to Gun Channels. We'd like to see you sign up, because there's a lot of people over there and it's a cool community. There's just a lot that you can explore when you get over there. So
yeah, we'll do. I'll definitely check into that.
All right. And let's see here. Do you have, maybe I should already know this, but do you have a B channel, a backup channel that you're going to keep around in case something would happen and you lose your main channel, so you get strikes, but you still want to do podcasts? Do you have a backup channel on YouTube?
Yeah, it's a toy unboxing channel. So no, I'm just kidding.
No, seriously. I was like, dude, we do a Guns and Geeks podcast on Monday night, and we get into, Matt, you've had Matt on your channel, or he was on, I think you hosted him before, Matt, Never Enough Ammo.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so he's big on the sci-fi geek thing and the action figures. Those of us that are in the age that we are, grew up with G.I. Joe, Transformers, He-Man. Yeah. So we're, you make fun of the unboxing channels, but dude, they got millions of views, Oh
yeah, they make tons of money.
We try way too hard, man. We should just be doing. That's why I do things like tactical tuna reviews and spam cupcakes, because you got to have something out there for some variety,
Yeah, my daughter's been begging me to start her own YouTube channel just on the LOL dolls and stuff like that, and I'm just like, not right now. I want you to be a little bit older, and then we'll.
But just remember this: the parent that's looking up that toy on Google, the first thing that's going to pop up is a YouTube video suggestion to check it out, and boom, then they come over to her channel and watch the kid's take on the toy. Does the kid like it? Does the kid not like it? Is it worth it? You know what? I know I got a friend who's got a daughter that does a lot of online gaming. And she's, I don't know, I can't remember, she's maybe 6th grade right now, 5th or 6th grade. She wants to get a YouTube channel going. And I'm like, this stuff is, I said, you can moderate, you know, what she does. You can block contact. You can do everything so she can put her content out there and still do it safely. You know, I'm like, if she starts now and builds an audience, she could have a huge channel by the time, because some of these YouTubers have had channels for over 10 years. You know, they've got a huge following. Even like on gun channels, we've got guys that have been on for probably close to 10 years, if not more at this point. It's just as long as YouTube has been around. They've had channels. So. All right, so another question I got for you. The Iraqi veteran shoot, you went there your second time now in 2018, is that right?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, so what is that like? What is the experience? What do you do? I know you shoot, but what is there like they have like a dinner and everybody gets to introduce themselves, or what you show up, they have all these events planned. Can you just explain to us what the shoot is all about? I've seen random videos about the shoot, but I don't really understand what the whole event's about.
So the main emphasis is for YouTubers and industry people to basically intermingle, to network, right? So it's a great opportunity to not only meet new people, but also meet and hang out with old friends. There's nothing really like specifically set with it. I mean, it's in Livonia, Georgia, which is just outside of Toccoa, Georgia, if you guys are familiar with the Band of Brothers.
Where's it at from Atlanta? That would give you some perspective, because I'm not familiar with the southeastern part, a whole lot of the U.S., but yeah.
So it's 2 hours northeast of Atlanta. So you basically take I-85 and you'll run right into Livonia. And then it's right next to, like I said, Toccoa, which is very well known for Band of Brothers and the paratroopers out there. So basically it's just, there's nothing really specifically planned other than come out, shoot some stuff. We got industry people that's going to allow you to shoot their stuff just to get an idea of what they've got going on.
I've seen some awesome range tests and stuff. I've seen some really cool gear that people have shown off. Yeah.
So it's like a miniature range day for SHOT Show is basically what it turns out to be. And it's a great way to network. I mean, that's the biggest thing that I go for, is networking with not only the industry people, but also other YouTubers. So I can sit down and talk to them and say, hey, I have this idea, or I need help with this software stuff. And they're a great avenue to, have in your back pocket to ask questions.
And since you're closer than I am, are you going to head down to Tulsa? Weren't you in Tulsa last spring? I was there for 48 hours. Unfortunately, I did not get to meet up with you. But do you go to the Wanamaker Arms Gun Show in Tulsa?
Absolutely. That is something I've been going to since I can remember. My dad and I go down there at least once a year, and typically in the fall is when we go. We didn't go in the spring this last year, but there's been years that we've gone both times. I think I'm going to try to reach out and get media credentials this year. But I'm not sure. When you're carrying a camera around and trying to get film and talk to people and stuff like that, it's exhausting. It
is. Getting the media credentials is not too difficult. We in gun channels, we have a point person that's doing that for us. And we have a table set up and stuff. We were there last year at the table and had that was kind of our little drop zone where we would go in and stop and, kind of host some videos and interviews and stuff. It is exhausting, but you're going to find that people have you filmed videos that want to make? Because everybody I talked to was awesome about, I just walked around with the camera. I had Sandhills was my cameraman, right? And I would just go up to certain tables and say, I walk up to any table and say, hey, you've got an awesome business. Can I make a YouTube video? Sure, go ahead. You get the stipulations of the video out. Do you want me to mention your name? Do you not? Do you want me to not talk about something? Are you cool with it? Everybody I talked to, and I only did like 5 or 6 videos, but then on the other end, it's taken out that one day of just enjoying the gun show, the shopping aspect of it, being able to walk around and look for that gun. So I would say if you're going to film, maybe try Sunday, because I didn't think it was as busy after, say, 10 a.m. on Sunday than it was on Saturday. Saturday was double all people. I filmed on Saturday, but it's not, I mean, it's a very rewarding experience because you get to meet up with people that are not necessarily the big time players in the industry, but you get to meet up with, a lot of cool companies that are out there. So yeah, getting the media credentials again. If you want to get in with the Gun Channels crew and stuff and start talking to say Ghost Tactical or Clover Tac, those guys over there, they helped us get the media credentials. You just basically get a media pass. It allows you better access to get in and out of the building, and it people see it as, you know, it's okay to interview with you because you've got the credentials for it. You know, you're cleared with the family to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, the one thing that I'm still trying to debate, and I'll have to talk to my dad about, is that this is a father-son bonding time, you know.
Oh yeah, definitely.
We've done this year after year after year.
Yeah.
There's a couple people that have tables that we know, and we always stop by and hang out with, and so on and so forth. But yeah, I mean, it's something I'm very interested in doing. You know, I had cards last year. I passed out my cards and talked to certain people, made some contacts, which was really, really cool. It supported the channel. It's been pretty awesome, but yeah, just something I'm still trying to kick around in my head, whether or not I'm going to do it.
Yeah, no, but I you know, my experiences where everybody was awesome. The Wanamaker family was great with giving us the resources we needed. Everybody was awesome about doing, but again, to enjoy the show and walk around. And that was my thing, is, do I want to interview people? And I did interviews, or do I want to walk around and take the show in? Because by the time I could take the show in on Sunday, a lot of the vendors were already starting to pack up in the early afternoon. And there's a lot of things I didn't get to see. You know, because they say that you get 20 seconds per table if you go from start to finish.
Yeah.
And you're still going to run out of time before the end of it. If you've never been to a gun show like this, we're talking, you know, 3,000-4,000 tables. It is unbelievable what they have there. And it was an amazing experience. I loved it. Maybe I might get to go this spring. I don't know, my job, it's hard for me to get the days off. So I'm going to try to go this spring if I can, but I know it's coming up here in just a couple weeks. So that's why I was going to ask you about that. Cool. And the last question I have for you is, what's the future of the Second Amendment in the United States of America? Are we going to be losing our rights? Are we going to gain our rights? That's kind of that's a last brain buster for you right there before we move on to the next topic. What do you think about that? Are we in trouble? What should we be doing? To me, I would like to see more local advocacy. You know, we need to get the 2A capital get-togethers going again. We need to raise awareness. You know, a lot of people got complacent after Trump got into office, thinking that, oh, we're good now. We're good because you saw the firearm sales drop off after the election. I think everybody was buying everything pre-election because they thought Hillary was going to get it. And that scared a lot of guys into buying guns. I know the industry, even a lot of stores and stuff, you didn't see the deals like you did. Well, post-election, you see the deals now because guys are trying to roll out the inventory that nobody's buying. So what is the future of the Second Amendment? I mean, do you see us losing more of our rights? I mean, I see more of the local states affecting individual rights and less of the federal aspect, you know, other than, say, bump stocks, right? So what do you think?
I think that we are on a knife's edge right now, and especially in the month of October. You know, the second Tuesday, or the first Tuesday of November is coming up here real quick, which is midterm elections. And I think this is probably one of the most important midterm elections that we've had in the last 20 years, by far, because of the Democrats' aversion to Trump and how they just want to undermine everything he does just because Trump, you know. And okay, fine. I'm not a forever Trumper. I can tell you that right now. I think that he has not been the best 2A advocate as he said he would be.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. I mean, love him or hate him, that's my feelings about that element, that aspect. Yeah.
His stance on bump stocks is a perfect example of why he is not a friend to the Second Amendment, even though he says he is. I think the NRA is also undermining our rights a little bit too. And
they do wonderful fear mongering. And if you look at the gun restriction bills that have been passed, they've generally gone through with endorsement from the NRA. I mean,
exactly. You know, not to say that I don't support the NRA. I'm an NRA member, you know, so, but you know, I think that this election is going to be pivotal. I don't think that we're going to see gun laws get enacted because, to be frankly honest with you, us flyover states have some really favorable gun laws. Kansas is a constitutional
carry. I absolutely admire that. I mean, I wish I could live over the border and still work in Nebraska, you know,
right?
And so that way I would have that kind of freedom, because there's stuff that we have to do, even though we can get the guns, you know, you can have it on certain stipulations, you know?
Yep. So, you know, that's pretty awesome. But, you know, I'm an Army wife, right? So my wife is active duty military. She's not even home right now because she's out in the field. But you know, I know that very, very soon here, probably in the next couple of months or next couple of years rather, I'll be moving. and hopefully I won't move to Fort Bliss, New York, or Fort Irwin, California. You know, those are two areas that are very likely that I could move to. So,
I thought Bliss was in Texas. You're talking about Fort Hood, right?
No. I said Bliss. I meant Fort. Not Fort Hood's in Texas too. Bliss is in Texas, and it is Fort Drum. Fort Drum,
yeah, where the Mountain Division is. Yeah.
Mountain. I don't know why I said Bliss, but Fort Drum, New York.
You want some hotter weather? Come on.
No, Kansas gets.
Oh no, God no! Nebraska 6 months out of the year. It's it ain't like Georgia, but it's plenty toasty, starting in about mid-April all the way through October. Yeah, we get it. We get enough of it. It's enough.
Hey, we had Johnny Baggins and the Gun Collective just swing through the chat, just driving by. So,
hey, there we go. Heck yeah.
All right. So,
cool, man. Yeah.
Anyway, so that's one of my biggest things right now for the Second Amendment community, for the state of the Second Amendment. This election, I think, is going to be pivotal, and I encourage everybody to get out and vote. We need to really push back on this "quote unquote" blue wave that's coming.
Yeah, I agree totally. All right, man. Well, those are the questions that I have for you. Does anybody here on the panel have questions for Mark at all? Anything you guys would like to ask? Again, I want you to go over there and subscribe to his channel and check it out because the content is very cool. Any questions at all from the panel?
Yeah, I had a quick question. As far as going back to the politics of firearms, it's pretty evident Google has got a political agenda that is not 2A friendly. Would you see whether or not there's a blue wave or red wave or whatever, would you see a company like Google going more heavy-handed regardless of the election results, and companies like YouTube coming down stronger on the firearms community regardless of what happens in November?
I think so. I don't know how much we'll be able to see it. But I think after some of the things that have been leaked out from Google here recently, where they had some of their top officials having group sessions talking about how they're going to fight against the election results in 2016 when Trump won, and seeing those videos and seeing just how completely left-leaning the company actually is, was very, very disconcerting. And if the Republicans went out in this election, I would not be one bit surprised to see more and more, just a push from the social media content or social media companies against right-leaning or, gun-loving individuals. That's just kind of my opinion. I don't know how that's going to play out, but I think that's what we're going to be looking for in the future, because they've seen that obviously Russia was able to influence the elections in 2016, like everybody says they did. So why can't the social media platforms influence elections themselves? Really be that Batman. So that's the way I see it.
Yeah, I see the same path coming down because, like you already said, Google's obviously a far left-leaning, company. And the problem that I think that we're going to have is they're instantly going to fall back on, we're a private company and we can do what we want. And that's going to be their whole argument when they start, harassing people, shutting channels down and doing all these other kinds of things that they could potentially do, and I wouldn't put it past them doing, is, hey, we're a private company, don't tell us what to do.
Right.
Well, that's what they already do right now. When you agree to the terms of service, that's what the deal is,
Yep.
Well, see, that's the whole thing, though, is if you're going to play the game, then play the game. If you're going to want your stuff on YouTube, which is the second largest search engine in the world, they're not saying you can't do it. They're saying we don't want certain things. So as long as you are abiding by the house rules, it may not be with the video that you want to make, but you can still get your content out there and utilize Gunstreamer and UGEtube and GunTube to put the AR build videos, the ones that you really want to put out. Then put a video out on YouTube saying, here is a recap of the video. If you want the full video, go check it out on this one over here. Utilize it as a search engine. You may not be able to utilize it as the entire video that you want to put out, but you can still utilize the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly what Tactical Toolbox does with his channel. He has a channel on Full 30, and all of his in-depth Polymer 80 build videos are over on Full 30. And he's just like, hey, if you guys want to see exactly what I'm doing right here, head over there. And so that's a great point.
Okay.
Ghost, I think what a lot of people have a problem with is how they just constantly change their terms of service. You don't know if you're coming or going.
Exactly.
Sometimes they give warning. Sometimes they don't give warning. They pull your stuff down. You're guilty until proven innocent. You know, no due process when they pull down videos, and they don't grandfather in. If they change their terms of service tomorrow, everything that was published prior to should be grandfathered. And I think that's what people are upset with. However, just like what David was saying, they are their own company. They can do what they want. If we start dictating what a private company does, we're really gonna start having issues with government control over things. Because we're a capitalist society, hopefully some of these other companies, you know, gather some steam and they really can give YouTube a run for their money. However, if YouTube wanted to truly be an American company, do things the American way, and truly be able to walk around and say, look at us, we're open-minded and we're this, they would give everybody an equal platform instead of just leaning, you know, one way or the other. Unfortunately, though, it's going to be really hard to get them to see things that way.
Yeah, and I'm not sitting here saying by any means that I'm supporting what YouTube does. I think everybody knows my stance on YouTube. But what I'm saying is
I wasn't implying
yeah,
that.
oh, I know that. But what I'm saying is, yeah, they can do what they want. And the great thing about it is America. They are a private company. They are living the American dream. They can do what they want to. They have freedom of speech and freedom of expression also. They choose not to express their views on pro-gun stuff. That is what it is. But the problem, like you said, the problem is they can change their term of service. And I think that's why we have to be extremely vigilant, you know, constantly checking to make sure that they haven't snuck something in. And if you do want to stay on YouTube, we have to learn to play the game, because I think that, you know, I love the sentiment of let's just go and leave YouTube. I think that's a sentiment that would show them. But on the flip side is that actually hurts our community. Instead of sticking around and fighting, people are tucking tail and leaving. And I've called several channels out for tucking tail and leaving. Stay, learn to play the game a little bit, fight. And if you sit there and have a bunch of videos and a bunch of channels out there that are trying to abide by their rules and still fighting the good fight, maybe they hear us eventually. I don't know. That's just me.
Well, one of the things. Go ahead.
Go ahead, David. I was just going to say I've said that myself before. In as much as either side needs the other side, right now, our community still needs YouTube more than YouTube needs our community. Because if you know, what are there less than 1 million of us probably? If you looked up every Pro 2A channel,
yeah,
they don't. YouTube doesn't need us. If we all leave, they don't feel that sting. But if we lose YouTube right now, then just like Ghost said, we lose the major search engine. Then we feel that sting, and I kind of feel the same way. They are a private company. They've got the right to put whatever they want in their agreement, and I clicked I agree. So that's on me. And if I want to stay, it's just like if you're a guest in my house, you're going to abide by my house rules. And if you want to stay in my house, you're going to play by the rules. If you want to go, you're welcome to anytime. You're not a prisoner, but you will obey my rules in my house. And I feel the same way about YouTube. I'll obey their rules because I don't want my channel to go away. If I want to put something up that's not allowed on YouTube, then I've got Gunstreamer, guntube.org, things like that. So I agree 100% with what Ghost is saying. But yeah, we got to keep in mind that as much as it sticks in my craw to say it, we need them more than they need us. And we don't want to wear out that welcome.
Yeah, Sean actually makes a good point. I don't really dive into this point, but you know, at what point does a company become so large that it shouldn't hide behind its, you know, we're a private company? I fully support YouTube's ability to say, no, we don't want that, because as we've said here, it is their First Amendment right to do so as a private company. But at what point do they become so large that they are actually influencing?
They're well past that point.
Exactly. And that's when Mark Zuckerberg went and testified in front of the Congress or the Senate or whatever, and they asked him, you know, should you you be a publisher? And he said, yeah, I think we should be. I think we should have a responsibility to put out good quality things and be held accountable. And I'm pretty sure their lawyers, Facebook's lawyers, just took a crap in their pants.
Yeah, they did not like that.
Right. So, there is, I don't know the answer to that. I would hate to see YouTube to be put under any type of government regulation, because it is a platform for you, as they say in their charter. But at the same time, I think that there should be a little bit more transparency on what they do and don't allow. Right. Yeah. And I know that they've tried to do that back in March, and everybody freaked out. Oh my God, but I've had videos pulled down for no apparent reason. So it is what it is right now.
That's the issue, is when you have principles, the people on the other side will go ahead and use left and right. Us right wingers, quote unquote, have principles, and the left wingers will use those principles against us every single time. Case in point, I thought you right-wingers believed in freedom. I thought you right-wingers believed in the free market and capitalism. Why would you dare tell another company what to do? Let them do what they want and go make your own. And those are the principles we stand on. Look, like gun channels started because somebody had a good idea and wanted to do their own thing. So they made gun channels. Same thing with Night Strike. He had a good idea and wanted to do his own thing. So he made guntube.org. And that's the issue that we're going to have through any of this, no matter how deep it goes, is they're always going to look back and say, but you believe in freedom, while they, on the other side, don't care. If YouTube, if the Democrats, per se, told YouTube to shut down all the gun channels, YouTube would be like, great, I've been waiting for you to tell me that. And then the first thing that they'd say to people like us is, but you believe in freedom and you believe in this. So it's a double-edged sword there with our principles. We stand on our principles, but they will use our principles against us as well.
Agreed.
That's the irony of the situation. Let's just hope we have some place where we can go, and hopefully we don't lose any of those rights. I mean, it's just going to be an interesting next couple of years. I will say that. So I don't know. All right, so we'll go ahead and continue. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Can I just say one more thing, though?
Please.
I try to take a little bit different approach on my channel, and if you notice, I don't have any gear reviews. I've barely even shown a firearm at all in any of my videos, and barely even in the live chats. And it's not because I don't want to. I just maybe one day I'll get some review videos out or something like that. But as of right now, I kind of predominantly have been more of a vlog than anything. And I mean, I'm not at all worried about channel strikes, things like that, because I'm not showing how to assemble a gun or where to buy one. I'm not doing the things that they said don't do. And I guess I feel fairly safe right now, fairly confident in the fact that I can say whatever I want, and unless I'm actually, inciting violence or something like that, or threatening somebody, I've got my First Amendment rights to fall back on there, that, YouTube isn't saying, well, you can't say this, you can't say that. And so, I mean, for me, I kind of like that aspect too. And I try to, right now anyway, I try to keep things kind of clean, still on my channel, just the same that you do, Travis, because there are people that are going to see this potentially that you don't want, F-bombs.
Yeah, I mean, I try not to tell you guys what to say or do, but we try to keep it so it's family friendly.
Right, and that's kind of how I do my live shows too. But at the same time, everything is opinion. Everything is, everything is just talk. And I mean, those of you that are doing product reviews and are worried about channel strikes, man, I feel for you. I worry about that kind of stuff too, but not as much for myself because, like I said, I don't have that kind of content out. But I applaud those of you that have those and have left them up, taking that chance, because it is good to have those videos available too. I really like that. So,
the one thing that scared a lot of us when they talk about the manufacturer of firearms, I'm thinking, okay, is the uneducated person that's judging YouTube videos going to understand that my disassembly and reassembly of a handgun in a cleaning video is not a manufacturer? The gun's already been manufactured. It's serial numbered. It's been sold, registered and sold. That's not manufactured, because you see the Geisley trigger install on the AR. Is that going to be considered a a shot rate increasing enhancement? Is that a gun modification that's going to fire up? That's the thing is, okay, YouTube has the standards that you're supposed to follow, but at the same time, the people that are moderating their videos and watching their videos and getting the strikes to the channels, like Mac's video either got pulled or it got demonetized. It was for a get home backpack. Okay, so that warranted a limited or no ads marking on it. That limited being pulled. Why?
I got a copyright notice. It wasn't a strike, but it was a copyright notice on my 64 Impala video, and it said that certain countries won't allow it to be played for shooting a video of a car that's owned not by me, but I own it. It's my car, it's my property. But
do you have any music in the background?
That's what I went back and watched the video, and there was music in the background, and I'm thinking that might be what caused it.
Yeah, and then
that's exactly what it is. It's just it's a copyright claim is all it is. It's not a strike. It's just a claim.
Right. Yeah, they just said that they're not going to take the video down, but they won't allow it to play in certain countries.
Yeah, and I've seen so many YouTube channels. I'll go watch a music video, and it's not by the music publishing company that hosts the video. Somebody puts up a video from like the 80s that, it's like a VHS tape they brought over to YouTube, and they don't seem to get the video pulled for whatever reason. They don't get a copyright strike. You can go watch whole movies on YouTube. You can watch portions of movies that are just shown, and they don't get pulled. But it's weird.
Yeah, how do some people get away with and other people don't?
Yeah, I don't understand how those videos have millions of views
it just takes the time for the system to catch up to it sometimes. I mean, they don't have actual people monitoring that stuff. It's all AI stuff.
Yeah, that's probably why I'm wondering why some of the gamer channels or toy channels get strikes or get videos pulled, because of the algorithm. They trigger something in the algorithm that throws a flag, and then boom, the video gets pulled. No, I don't think any of us would doubt here that there are groups that have gone after gun channels and flagged certain videos, causing videos to get look at what happened to Hank Strange with the bullpup videos that he did shooting a bullpup rifle. Not even a disassembly, assembly video, and he got a strike on that video, got the video pulled, and got his channel taken down.
Just about 2 years ago, YouTube had that ad go out looking for people to do flagging. Yeah, I don't remember what they called it, but you would get extra credits and stuff like that if you would flag videos.
Wouldn't you get paid?
Well, there's a guy, and I'm not, promoting or de-promoting any other channel, but there's a guy out there. His channel's name is Chris Raygun, and he did a whole video on it. And it was YouTube looking for people to go out and flag videos, and they would give you bonus for whatever kind of bonus that means. I don't know. I don't remember. It was a long time ago, but they're definitely not playing by the rules like they say they are at all times. They do what they want, whether or not we like it or not.
Yeah. Hey guys, we do have a question from the chat, so let's go ahead and try this one. Would it be unwise to put a better trigger, like a stage 1 competition trigger, in my AR for all-around use in home defense? I love competition triggers. The feel is amazing, but it sometimes is a lighter pull weight. What do you guys think about that? Would you have an aftermarket trigger in your defensive carbine?
I have a Geisley SSA trigger, and it's a 3.5 pound, but it is not as light as a lot of people would like to have it. And like a competition trigger, like a 2 pound trigger, I would not necessarily recommend it if you're not going to train with it.
Could there be any ramifications if you'd have to use it for home defense? Let's say you have to shoot somebody. You have somebody intruder in your home. They're coming at you. You shoot them, and then the gun is confiscated, and it's a highly modified AR that's got the light and trigger. Could the DA use that against you with the jury to make it look like you had an intention to kill?
Yep.
Yes,
that you want that weapon to be more deadly than it's already designed for. It's more of an offensive weapon and less of a defensive weapon.
Well, I think
any gun is an offensive weapon,
Yeah, it wouldn't be deemed more deadly by a district attorney. What it would say is, unless you have sufficient proof that you have done extensive training with that particular trigger, what they're going to say is using a competition trigger for home defense is overkill. And if you're not proficient enough with that trigger, and it could be negligence, because what if your drilling's pumping and you've got a 2 pound trigger in an AR and it goes off and you're not anticipating it?
Yeah.
That's what they're going to use on you. Say unless you can prove sufficiently that you have trained with that specific trigger for home defense, it's going to be rough.
So
Could I ask a quick question about triggers? When you guys talk about changing your triggers, is there is it the whole entire kit, like the actual trigger you touch with your finger, or are you just talking about changing the spring setup, or
It's
could you
usually,
do
it could be
both?
a trigger, hammer, springs. It's either going to be, you're either going to get something that's going to be maybe polished and buffed out so it's smoother, or you're going to get something that has lighter springs, has a different trigger design that might be flat instead of curved. Mark, you have a little more experience with aftermarket triggers than I do. I've shot them. I've not installed one. What is the primary difference between a mil-spec trigger and, say, a Geisley SSA?
So the where the sear and everything connects, it's just been polished. So when the hammer comes back and catches that sear, when you remove that take up, if there's any take up at all, then it's going to be a very, very crisp, lighter break. It basically, you could do it to a mil-spec trigger if you wanted. You could take your Dremel out and just polish it up a little bit, and it'd be, for the most part, the exact same thing as, say, like a Geisley. Geisley puts higher quality parts into their triggers. Their springs are better, but you could go out and just go out and buy a JP Enterprises spring set for your AR mil-spec trigger and dramatically improve the performance of it. So those are what I see. Then you have the drop-in style triggers that you can get from like CMC triggers or whatever. There's a couple different companies out there, but and those are all self-contained, same type of thing. Basically, where that hammer and that sear are connecting and holding that hammer back. The way I understand it, I could have the names wrong, but where that hammer is being held back, that point right there has been polished up and is creating a lighter, crisper break right there, along with the upgraded springs.
Okay.
I guess the only thing I would say about that is if, and this is devil's advocate a little bit, if a prosecutor was going to go after you for using, if he was the kind to go after you for using an enhanced trigger, wouldn't he be the kind who would just go after you for using an AR in the first place?
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah, and they could tack that on there where they're going.
So
this gun had this and this and this on it. That gun was way more than what any self-defense. It depends on your community, your environment. Depends on the state that you're in. It depends on that DA. It depends. I mean, there's a lot of factors that could be thrown in there, or maybe it wouldn't even come up at all.
I would suggest if anyone has the ability to train with Mosin Nagant, to do so. If you're able to travel and spend the money to get to that class that he does, it is amazing when it talks about personal defense and the individual's ability to defend themselves, because what he does, he splits that class up into two sections, and he goes, the first half is why you should never carry a gun, the laws and everything else surrounded by it. And from what I've heard, you walk away like, I'm never carrying a gun again. And then the second half is why you should carry a gun. And you realize, oh, I totally get it now. And the other great thing about Mosin Nagant is the fact that after you take his course, one of his larger courses, I think it's a 3 or 4 day course. Once you take his course, if something happens where you get into a civilian involved shooting and you have to stay in trial, he will come and testify for you that you took his class, and he's an expert on firearm law and policy, and he can testify on your behalf as well. So if you guys, I tell you, man, if you have the ability, I would highly recommend it.
Okay.
And he is an extremely credible witness as well.
Yes.
There's no one that's going to have his resume or his credentials to be an expert witness besides him.
There you go. Yeah, good stuff. All right. I want to go ahead and move into our next topic, if that's cool with everybody. Again, if you guys have questions for Mark, feel free to fire away, no pun intended. So the next thing we're going to talk about, these are viewer suggested topics and questions. A person wants to get into budget precision shooting. What would you recommend? Where do we start? Now, I do have to disappear for 1 minute, so I'm going to let the camera go. But you guys want to start talking about getting into budget precision shooting, and I'll be back in 1 minute. I was thinking maybe go entry level 6.5 Creedmoor, say a Thompson Compass, because I'm seeing those on sale for $229 at Cabela's and 6.5, or maybe even just start off with like a nice Savage 22 LR, good optics on it, and take it out as far as you can and shoot it as well as you can. What do you guys think about that? How do you get into budget precision rifle shooting?
I'd say maybe a 1022, because it's so modular. You can really kind of adapt it to however you want to train for whatever you're training with. I mean, you're talking that the 1022 is easily one of the most modular things out there, especially for someone starting out. So I would say a 1022 maybe.
That's a great point. Yeah, I mean, you're able to get that precision down, especially if you are able to find some good quality 22 long rifle that's going to be consistently accurate. I think 22 Plinkster does a really great job of outlining that on his channel to be able to shoot up to 100 yards with a 22 long rifle and maintain accuracy. I'm brand new to precision shooting, so this is something I just dived into this, technically last year when I bought my very first 308. Second 308 AR-10. That video has done very, very well, and Palmetto State Armory has the ability for you to get into a AR-10 308 for about $500 to $600, which is going to be about the same price as a Glock or a P365. But I got a lot to learn on how to get into precision shooting for less than $500. It's just something brand new to me.
I think that some people look at things like precision shooting and other specific aspects of training, practice, competing with firearms the same way people look at prepping gear. It's all about the gear. It's about having the most stuff, the best stuff, the newest stuff, and then they don't know how to use it, or they don't know what to do without that gear.
Yeah.
So I think if you want to save some money getting into precision shooting, learning precision shooting, or getting better at it, or whatever it is, have your skill set down first. Are you any good at 100 yards with a rifle with iron sights? No. You might want to get good with that before you start moving further out and then getting into optics. And you can IV8888 did a video. Can you buy precision? Yes, you can, up to a certain point. And if you've got deep pocket, you can buy some of this stuff.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
But
easy.
At the end of the day, if you really want to be cost effective, I think making every round count is more cost effective than buying expensive ammo, expensive rifle, expensive optic, paying Joe Blow. I'm the best trainer in the world guy, exorbitant fee for training, as opposed to making sure that not only is this something you're willing to commit to, but that you've got the basic skills first before you just jump in.
I think you definitely need to consider, like Squib was just saying, consider cost is very important, because if you want to precision shoot, 338, well, you need to have a lot of money for ammunition or a really good friend that does some awesome reloading. Ghost brought up the 22. 22 is readily available and very affordable. So, and it's also an easy round to fire rapid fire or fire at a smaller target because of the lack of the recoil. The lighter the firearm is going to be.
Yeah. And you've got a lot, good selection of precision match grade 22 LR ammo out there too. You could really push the limits of what that 22 is capable of. Not to mention the fact that, you can run a nice inexpensive optic on the top and get out there and get into the range and start doing it. I would say there's probably two different standpoints, or there's probably three ways you could get into it. One, you could go buy precision. You could go buy that expensive rifle that you want to get into and get the expensive optics. Two, you could maybe get yourself like a kind of an entry or kind of a mid-priced, maybe say 6.5 Creedmoor, like a Ruger American or a Howa. Or even if you're really on a budget, that Thompson Center that you can get for under $300. And then three would be the 22 LR route, because definitely you could take it out. I kind of wish AWAG was here because he's taken his 22 LR. I don't remember how far he's taken out to 500 yards. And with the right glass, with the right kind of MOA adjustments, he's been able to really push 22 LR to its limits. Or even your 223 Remington. There you go, bolt action 223 Remington. There's no lack of ammunition out there that you could get into. And so Mark, I was going to ask this question of you, because you and I have tested a lot of inexpensive optics. Do you think you can get decent quality, a nice scope for under $100? What's your opinion on it? I've tested several scopes that have done well, and they're $50 scopes, and they've taken hundreds of rounds through my Ruger Ranch. What do you think? What's your thoughts on that? Oh, I got you. You're muted, buddy. Just give you a heads up.
There we go. Let's try that. Yeah, talking to my daughter. I'm sure you guys didn't want to hear that. But for me, I've actually taken a deer with a $70 scope from Walmart. and that was on top of my DPMS AR-10 that I had back 4 or 5 years ago. But I think the answer is yes, if you're not trying to hit a target at 400 or 500 yards.
Okay.
I think that if you're just trying to utilize an optic to help you see better, just like what Vanessa Kitty has kind of brought up here in the chat room, she's said, hey, do you carry binos to the range or to the field? Yeah, I do. Someone else, Andrew Mage, said that he uses his scope for binos when he's out in the field. And that's okay, but just be careful about, pointing a loaded weapon at something that you're not intending to shoot. That's my only caveat to that. So, yeah, I think budget, you can. I'm interested because I'm hoping, I think I have a primary arms, I think it's a 3 to 16 powered scope coming in the mail, and it retails for like $150.
Oh,
and
wow.
It's a mil dot reticle.
Okay.
I think that's what he's sending me. I'll have to check that out. But we're gonna see how that does. And that's not too far off under $100. I mean, spring for it.
Oh yeah, no. If you think about it, you can get real quick. I got to recognize the super chat. We'll come back to this. Mark Korf has given me $5 for the vodka for breakfast fund. I don't usually do that, but I am willing to learn. So Martin, I want to say thank you for that. I know that you tend to keep NEA. I think you're the guy that contributes to NEA's vodka fund. So hey, do appreciate it. Thank you so much.
The vodka can only be Kettle One or Tito's. It's the only 2 vodkas allowed.
See, NEA Matt's big on Heaven Hill, and I will say it is very smooth for as cheap as it is. It is too smooth for as inexpensive as that stuff is. So yeah, I don't disagree with you at all. But yeah, back to the optics. I would say if you're going to get into budget precision shooting, just save a little bit of change. Even Vortex or Leopold, they have entry level $200 scopes that have lifetime warranties with nice clear glass. As much as I enjoy testing the $50, the sub $100 scopes, you're right. Once you start to get past $400 and $500, you start to get distortion. You really start to see that lack of clarity in the glass. But I would say just save the money up and get yourself some quality glass. Obviously, train, practice, that's going to be important. And you can make use of that lower expensive, lower cost firearm,
And
you can also find Bushnell, and sometimes when they're on sale, Bushnell makes a great optic.
Simmons. I mean, a lot of us grew up with those, or those came on our 308s or .6s when we bought them growing up. They came as a package deal, and they're still usable and viable scopes,
Yep.
Yeah.
I would say one thing, if you're looking for a decent scope, make sure that whatever reticle, whatever crosshair you have matches the turrets, right? So if your crosshairs are mil dot, then you need to have mils on your turrets, and vice versa. If it's MOA, then it needs to be MOA. That's something I picked up from Ryan Kleckner when I asked that question of him in a live chat back in the day. Let's see, last February when Johnny from 180 Seconds had him on.
Oh, cool. Okay. Yeah, no, and like I said, the good thing is to get into precision rifle. Also check if you can buy guns locally, if your state allows it, if you can do person-to-person sales. You can look online. Again, I've mentioned this before. I have an account with MeWe, M-E-W-E, MeWe. I know gunchannels.com has classifieds also. And on MeWe, pretty much all of us that got booted out of Facebook, all of us gun groups went over to MeWe, and there's 13 gun groups that I belong to in Nebraska that are all buy, sell, trade, and for different parts of the state. So you could maybe get that maybe you want to get that Ruger precision rifle, or you want to get that whatever. Maybe somebody bought something more higher end, and you can pick it up at a good savings. Scout around locally too. Don't be afraid to buy used. I mean, I'd buy a used bolt action rifle in a heartbeat. Depending on the caliber, there might be some calibers where you might have to worry about the bore being shot out of it, but for the most part, go used. Also, if you want to get into it. So somebody said, "What? I want to get into budget shooting on I want to get into precision shooting on a shoestring budget. What do I do?" 22 LR is pretty hard to beat, especially when you've got lots of match grade ammo out there that you can. I got a Savage Mark IIF that I put a rail on the top, and I put a scope on the top, and it's fantastic. Doesn't even have the Acu trigger, and I still love shooting it. So I think a person can get into it for very little money. I don't know. Anybody else want to chime in? Budget precision shooting. There was a suggestion out there in the chat. Somebody said they got a Ruger American with a 308 Nikon glass, and they can connect out to 800 yards with no problems. So.
There's actually a different question that I wanted to see what the panel had to say. Andrew is asking what kind of binos work well with glasses. And that's actually a really good point, because we talk about, using a scope and precision shooting and stuff like that, but there's also someone that needs to help spot for you or something like that. And if they wear glasses, is there a good set of binos that's somewhat budget? That
here's what I do as a person with glasses and contacts. I take my glasses off and I hold up the binoculars and I adjust the focus so I can see through the binoculars. Huh? You can adjust the sharpness ring so with my prescription, my eyes are terrible and I'm still able to make it. It's still sharp. I take them off, it's blurry. Put them up, it's basically my lens prescription looking through the binoculars. If you have that kind of an adjustment where you could do that for the sharpness. Otherwise, I have a pair of Simmons that you just put up and all that they have are there's no adjustments at all. Maybe sharpness, a little bit of sharpness, and that's it. That's a good question though. I don't know. Do you guys, anybody out there, any of you guys here on the panel, ever run into that situation? You've got glasses and you still want to use, say, a spotting scope or binoculars? Anybody want to chime in on that one? Might be a tough one for us. I don't know.
I have a set of Bushnells here that I bought for, I don't know, $40. And I can do them with the glasses with the adjustment or without the glasses, either one. I wear glasses when I hunt so I can see clearly. And it's not a problem. Remember what the hell they are. They're out in the truck.
Yeah, the Bushnells or the Simmons. I've got a pair that's from just Bass Pro Shops brand that I bought that are a larger one. They're actually sitting on my shelf over here. And then I've got a pair, just an older pair of Simmons I got from my grandpa, and both of them can be adjusted so I can use them without. So yeah, maybe just take the glasses off, which, might work out for you. I'm not sure if you can do it with the spotting scope. I'm assuming you can, Go ahead, Tony.
So they weren't in the truck either. They're Bushnell Power View 20x50.
Okay.
They're pretty decent binoculars, but they're way too much for hunting.
Okay.
Here.
You mean they're just too much zoom? They're more zoom than you're going to need for any kind of. I mean, I guess if you're doing stuff, say in the woods or in a forest, your optics needs are going to be different than you're sitting out on a prairie and you've got to look 300 or 400 yards. Let's see. Calaveras 32 Special says he has the Bushnell H2O 12x25s, about $50. Yeah. I mean, I'd love to have, and Calaveras on his channel, he says he's going to have a review form coming up soon, I think. That'll be cool. Yeah, you don't have to, I mean, I think all of us would love to have a pair of Steiner binoculars or Swarovskis or whatever and drop a couple grand on them, but you can get by for a lot less if you just need something basic.
I got a pair of cheap Tascos here too that
I
because the Bushnells are too much, and they had the independently adjustable focus also. So hang on, I'm trying to read what they are.
Tony, I'm trying to boost up your volume a little bit. Unfortunately, I can't get you to come up on the chat room. I can't scroll down to you. I might have you speak up just a little bit. It's a little bit soft on the voice.
Do is get closer. I'm trying to.
Oh no, that's fine. No problem, man. No problem. No, you're giving out some good information there. I can get myself down to Ghost. Unfortunately, but I can't get to Tony. Okay.
They're a Tasco 10x25. I believe they're 66 RB is the model.
Okay.
And I think they cost like $20.
Yeah, just go to Walmart. They usually have at least 3 or 4 different types of binoculars. You can get from little pocket models all the way up to larger models. So you can have like some 50, 55 millimeter lenses on the front of them.
That's where both these came from.
Okay. Cool. Good deal.
I don't know how budget friendly you consider the ones I put in the side chat. We got them on sale, but they're really nice.
So they're $200 on Amazon. Again, the older you get, the more I'm starting to appreciate better glass for optics, binoculars. It's easier on my eyes overall. I mean, I don't mind spending a little more money if it's going to make things nicer. Oh, you're looking at, so the Carson 3Ds or the Nikons? I'm seeing some Nikons for 196.
These are Carson.
Okay, they're 264 right now, but I'm sure they'll go on sale. The price fluctuates, on Amazon quite often.
I broke down last year and bought a pair of Vortex Crossfires. I think they are. They're 12 power. I don't remember what the objective lens size is, but they're really nice, and they were full price. They were like $180. They were a good deal.
Okay.
Yeah, cool. One thing, I spend most of my time hunting in the woods, so the 20 power was just stupid overkill.
Okay.
I ain't gonna shoot a squirrel at 100 freaking yards, so I don't really need that.
Yeah. Yeah, and you'll get your optics, you get your binocular for whatever your needs are going to be. You know, specifically what you're going after and what you need. So no, I hear you. Cool.
Last week, my friend bought a Simmons spotting scope, and it's a 20 by 60, 60 millimeter. And we set it up out in the street, and we were reading 200-300 yards away. We were reading license plate numbers, and my friend's vision is terrible, and he could clearly read people's license plate numbers. We didn't get a chance to go to the range. That's a whole nother story in itself. But this weekend, when we go to the range, and I come home, I'm going to do a review on that. So I think he said he paid about $70 for it at Walmart.
Yeah. Walmart usually has at least 1 or 2 spotting scopes, and a lot of times the Black Friday specials will have them for like $49.99 at Cabela's and places like that too. So
yeah, the only problem that I noticed with it so far is the tripod that comes with it is kind of small. I'm 6'2", so I got to kind of bend down quite a bit to look into it. But at our range, we have seats that you could just sit down and look out. So.
What spotting scope is that again? Because I need to get one.
Simmons. It's going to be the Simmons that Walmart carries. They just have it like on the bottom shelf in the optics section.
Yeah, it says Blazer on it.
Cool, thanks.
Now here's a question for the panel. I guess I have no experience with this one. Binoculars versus monoculars. Just your single. Anybody got any experience with those at all? I mean, I guess you're almost looking at like a miniature spotting scope essentially, but yeah.
I prefer binoculars, and the reason I say that is because I can brace my elbows on something, and like even if I'm just driving around or whatever, I can brace up against the window frame or the steering wheel or something and steady them. And a monocular is really hard to hold steady if you're looking at distance. If you're in the brush, like Tony's saying, and you're looking 20 yards, that's one thing, but hunting open country like I do, where you're looking, I might be looking half mile down a canyon or something. And it's really nice to hold that steady, especially if they're higher powered optics.
Binoculars also give you depth perception.
This is true.
Yeah, good point, Tony.
Hey, here's a fun question from the chat. I think I have an answer for it already. Patrick Pew Pew, does anybody have any experience with putting a scope on a Mosin? Just picked up an M44 and I don't want to get it drilled and tapped. Well, Patrick, you should have dropped $3,000 and just bought the sniper model in the first place with the scope, and that would have taken care of it, because that's what they're going for these days. Now, not $3,000, but it's ridiculous what a sniper's bringing. Patrick, you can get yourself a Picatinny section that fits on the rear iron sight. So you're going to be almost setting it up almost like a scout scope type of situation. You'd have to take off that front sight. There's aftermarket stocks that are out there for the Mosin, but none of them are going to allow you to mount an optic on it easily. Remember, that gun was designed with minute of man accuracy out to 800 yards, 1,000 yards, more like 5 or 6. But anyway, to get a scope on, you guys have any experience with optics on Mosins at all? I mean, I know you can get rails that'll go on the rear iron sight, and I would never recommend it, but Nothing Fancy does have a video where he modified his Mosin. If the video is still up, and he showed all the stuff he did to it, he put an optic on a Mosin, and he was able to connect with it. That was one of the earlier Nothing Fancy videos that I'd watched a long time ago.
How many acronyms did you have to wade through to get to that point?
At that point, I was so deep into the playlist that I knew them all front and back. WRLSHTF, POU, whatever, POS. But anyway, yeah. So mounting. Do you guys have any experience with optics on Mosins at all? I don't.
There's always duct tape.
Duct tape. There you go. You don't want to have any, unless you want to sporterize that gun. I would say don't, especially with the M44s. I saw one selling classic firearms on the auction for $800. I mean, literally, that's what it sold for. So I mean, I don't keep the gun original if at all possible. You might be able to find yourself another rifle in 7.62 by 54R if you really like that round that you could buy that would allow you to go that route. I don't know. I would just say don't mess with it. I mean, for what that rifle's worth, you can practically get yourself a PSL if you want to go that route, or a Dragunov SVD, because you're talking $1,100-$1,200 now,
Remember when they were so cheap you could bubba them up and you didn't care?
I don't, because I bought my first Mosin like 5 years ago, and I think I paid $130 at Cabela's for a hex.
Okay, I can remember when you could get a Mosin sniper with a PU scope on it, covered in cosmoline, for under $500.
Oh, I remember when they were $250,
and they had crates
$300.
and crates of these damn things.
Yeah. No, not anymore. Those days have long gone. I think the idea of the inexpensive surplus gun, or other than some of the pistols that are out there right now, they're kind of by the wayside here.
He said it was an M44 though, so that's a shorter one. That's a carbine. I mean, I would say if you're gonna booger one up or look for one that's already drilled and tapped or something, I would go with the rifle variant, not really the carbine variant.
Yeah.
You know, what, a 9130, 9138.
If you wanted to put a red dot on the carbine, you
56
could if
model.
you really wanted to. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
just try that. Try that. You go on eBay. There's rail sections that go into the rear iron sight. Buy one of those, install it, and you could run whatever you wanted on it, basically.
Yeah.
Me personally, I just have more fun with the iron sights. I like the challenge of actually trying to be accurate with the Mosin Nagant.
Yeah.
That's kind of fun.
I would say that for me anyway, I'd look back at the history and the use of the firearm, and as far as I understand, like the history of the Mosin didn't have scopes on it. You know, you shot, you aimed your gun like everybody else would do and pulled the trigger. So
well, they had
sniper
quite a few.
variant did.
There were a lot of snipers in every unit, when they were fighting the Germans. But
I'm talking about the basic. Standard.
For what it was designed for. I mean, the fact that you've got your bayonet on the front. I mean, that tells you that it was going to be a lot of active combat, probably up close. Yeah.
Militaries haven't been putting optics on your standard infantry rifle until recently. It just wasn't done. An optic wasn't reliable. An optic was expensive. Your average conscript soldier, would not take care of that sort of thing. And you've got to have something that's reliable, that's going to work, that's not going to fog up or break or need batteries or have. I mean, so with the more recent things where they're putting more optics on there, and they've got reflex sights and all this other stuff.
Yeah.
For these carbines, for close-in engagement, stuff like that, that just wasn't a thing until recently. So if you want to get into the nostalgia, learn how to shoot it the way that they shot it back in the 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, if at all possible. But if you want to have a milsurp with an optic, just be prepared to ruin the resale value. That's all. Yeah. I mean, sure. At the end of the day, it's your gun. Do what you want.
Yeah. I would just say no. I mean, I'm sure at some point, sporterized Mosins will go up in value too. Just like anything else.
I'll say this: before you buy an optic, if you're looking for accuracy, I would take that gun in a lead sled and see what it's actually capable of before.
Yeah.
Because
that's true.
Inherently inaccurate to start with, and then best scope in the world ain't gonna do crap.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, guys. Well, we'll go ahead and move on to the last topic. We're just going to run this one through the panel. So the last topic I have for you is what is your favorite rifle that you own? What is your favorite rifle that you have? Or I guess we could say, is there something you really, really want to buy or something you're looking at getting? Or what is your current favorite rifle? So, Tony, I'm going to start with you.
God, it's like asking me to pick between my kids.
Well, we had this problem last week when we talked about lever guns also. What's your favorite rifle, Tony?
Probably my 981 Marlin.
Okay. And why?
Because it's the most useful gun I own.
There you go. Pretty accurate. I mean, you enjoy it?
It does one whole groups at 100 yards with whatever ammo I stick in it. It doesn't care.
Yeah.
And it's been fine for me. I mean, I don't really take care of it as well as I should, but it's stainless steel and plastic, so I don't know the last time I've cleaned the thing.
Okay. Cool.
Pretty sure I've done it this century.
Put it in since the year 2000. You've cleaned it once.
I'd say.
All right. We'll tell you what. I'll come over and do a cleaning video on it for you. How's that? I clean everything.
I got a whole damn bunch of them here. You can do that on.
Oh man, easy. There, I'll stop at your place on the way over to go see Ellis at Palmetto State Armory this summer. Here we go. Go east and then go south. Yeah. All right. Cool. Squib, what about you? What's your all-time favorite rifle in your collection? I think I hear it.
Now, I want to make an addendum to this.
Sure.
Sorry, Squibby, but my all-time favorite rifle is one I don't have, and that's a Winchester 422.
Do you think you'll pick one up at some point in the near future?
It's my whole point of going to Wanamaker.
There you go. We'll be on the lookout for one. So, Mark, if you see one, you better keep an eye out for one. I'll give you Tony's contact info, and you can email him.
Yeah. What was it again? A Winchester
422.
422.
Okay.
Cool, man. All right, Squib. What were you saying, man? What do you got?
My favorite rifle will always be my favorite rifle, the M1 Garand.
Nice. Now, the one that is it all numbers matching? Is it a certain type of model or certain variant of it, or what
nope? It's a Century. It's made with a brand new manufacturer receiver made in Vermont at Century's factory.
Oh, okay.
With a mixture of American, Danish, and Italian parts. And I have shot it in a competition, and it does the job.
Hey, Squibby, you got Grand Thumb yet?
You know, I've come close. I mean, I'm about to do it right now. So, yeah,
Careful.
That's better. Yeah, I mean, it hurts. It's not pleasant, but I mean, I get slide bite more often, you know, so.
I think I've watched about a dozen YouTube videos on how not to get Grand Thumb before I took it out the first time, before I took an M1 out for the first time. All right, cool. Jim, what about you? What's your favorite rifle?
Next week it may be something different, but if you were asking me today, I'd have to say the Humble Wasser 10.
Ah, okay.
I just love that.
Keeps on running like a clock, right?
Keeps on running. It's fun to shoot. Throw that red dot up on the top and ring steel all day long, and
yeah, and it's inexpensive to shoot too. That's the best part about it. You can have fun at the range all weekend and not break the bank on it necessarily. Cool, man. All right, Ghost. What about you? Favorite rifle in your collection? Again, this is a viewer requested question.
Man, it's something that I need to get out and shoot. I just haven't shot forever, but for sentimental reasons, I've got a early 50s. I don't know the exact date, but H&R Grand in 30-06.
Okay.
So I got it from my grandfather when he died. I got it when I was 13 from him. And so, like I said, it's not the most awesome thing in the world. It's a grand. I like grands, but as sentimental reasons, that's probably my most treasured rifle.
You really need to go and check out some of them old military videos on the Grand with the AP ammo.
Oh yeah, man. I love the Grand. Just like I said, I mean, I don't shoot a lot of rifle. I'm more of a handgun guy.
Yeah.
So rifles to me are fun, but they're, I don't hunt. They're not practical in my everyday life. So I spend 95% of my time with handguns. But that Grand, like I said, it's awesome. It's a classic gun. There's a reason why they're still around. They're still out there for $2,000 at times, depending on which ones they are. They're going to hold their value because they're just one of the classic rifles ever made.
Yep. Okay, Mark, what about you?
Yeah, I have to agree with Tony on this one. It's like trying to pick between your kids.
You could take a pistol, pistol carbine if you want. You can say like the AR pistol. I guess I could have said it could have been something like an AR AK pistol, but what do you think?
Well, I've got two different arrow precisions. I got the build that I have, which I take to the range. It's just kind of my it's my go-to, but I also have an M4E1 from Arrow, which I absolutely love that too. And then, I tell you, I got the Ruger Precision Rifle in 6.5 Creedmoor. That thing is amazing. I love it too. But I would say if there's something that's not in my collection that I would absolutely want is a M1A or M14. I think that's probably something I'd really, really like to get. I would
love an M14 as well. Good call.
My dad's got one, and I think that is something that my brother and I are going to have to fight over once he passes away. So
I've got a James River Armory AMD 63, and they make. I mean, that's just an AK variant. I can't even imagine. That was a nice rifle. I still have it, but I know they do have M14s. You see them on classic firearms all the time. There's like a Maytag version or something there's a jukebox company that made M14s.
Rockola.
Yeah. A James River Armory does a complete, you're basically buying a new rifle, but they're taking in an old one and redoing everything. They're using the original furniture, but you're getting, fresh barrel, the receiver's been cleaned up quite a bit. I mean, they do, but they're also $1,500. So, you're looking at a pretty good investment. You got to sell a vehicle to go buy one.
Now, if we're talking like dream guns, I've got a dream gun. I'd love to get me a Remington 700 or a CZ chambered in 338 Lapua, because I love the 338 Lapua round. So either a CZ or a 700 chambered in 338 Lapua would be something I'd love to get one day.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, heck yeah, man. Heck yeah. Oh, I think I heard was that your clip that just flew out of there? Who was it? Who was that?
Yeah, that's the clip that came out of the magazine.
Yeah, there you go.
Back a little bit to the precision shooting,
Yeah.
There's no real foul here if you go looking at used, because you can find some decent deals on Remingtons, Howas.
Yeah.
Several others.
Yeah, I found a pretty good one for about $1,100, $1,200 about a month or so ago on Gunbroker, which, optics and everything included. So, it's one of those things that's just not a priority right now.
Springtime is a good time to check because it's post-deer season. Especially March or April, you start to see a lot of rifles popping up because some guy wants to buy something different. There's usually, you might be able to wheel and deal a little bit with some cash on some of them to find some good prices.
Oh, yeah.
Cool. David?
I should have my ass kicked for passing on a Mauser that had been sporterized and converted to 30-06 for $400.
Well, the sporterized Mausers, they don't bring as much as you. I mean, I think you could probably score one for that price, because people want original unmodified Mausers. That's what brings the money. But when they're sporterized, they drop down. Because I showed you guys one a couple of months ago. I showed you one.
I've always wanted to build one on Mauser Action, so that's what I wanted.
Okay.
I never liked sporterized milsurps because I thought you were just destroying. It's like when somebody takes a classic car and just mods the hell out of it.
Rods it,
Yeah, but the thing is, though, I mean, there is something to be said about it. I had a buddy that wanted to sell me a sporterized Enfield, and he was bugging me for a year to buy this thing off of him, and I'm like, no, I don't want sporterized milsurp. And then one day I just said, oh, what the heck? He's got a good price on it. It is another Enfield. I might even be able to reverse engineer it back to a original state. And I got to say, the aftermarket sights on it are really nice. Aftermarket stock is comfortable. It's a decent rifle. I would take it up north to deer hunt with it, with the 303 cartridge. But I think if I were to get a sporterized rifle, it'd be because I was in a position where I wanted to put a scope on it and somebody had already drilled and tapped it, or if I got a really good deal on it. I would not pay more than what your unaltered milsurp would cost for a sporterized one. I don't care what accessory they put on it.
Okay.
So that's what I was wanting, was a Mauser Action 30-06. And I was wanting to build one. And the hell, they had this one here done, except it needed mounts put back on it and a glass, but I should have bought it. I was buying something else is why I didn't. And when I went back, it was gone.
Yeah. David, what about you? You got a favorite rifle? I know you got a couple in your collection.
Yeah, my favorite shooting rifle is probably my Mini 14.
Okay.
I just like the way it feels. I like the way it looks. It's just really fun to shoot. But then my two favorite rifles are kind of like what Ghost was saying. That there are sentimental reasons. I've got the Marlin 22 that my father bought for my brother when my brother was a teenager, and then a Model 37A shotgun, that single barrel. And my dad bought that for my brother when I think that was the first gun he bought for my brother, and now I have them. So
which Marlin?
What's that?
Which Marlin?
Oh, geez. I don't even remember the name of it now. I made a video about it earlier.
Semi-auto?
Model 60.
Yeah, okay.
Sorry about that.
Those two.
Yeah, I have two of them now. One of them has the 18-round capacity, and one of them has the 14-round capacity. The 18 is the one that used to belong to my brother.
Yeah, I have the longer one. It's a 72 Glenfield, but it's a Marlin.
Yeah, they're really fun. They're nice.
For me, my all-time favorite, and this is, I've only had it for a couple of years, but I love this. Ruger American Ranch in 7.62 by 39. I've been taking it out with the Hornady SST ammo. It's just part of it is it's powerful enough that I can take game with it. You know, I can shoot it comfortably. The recoil's not that bad on it. You got the option for the mini 30 magazines, so you got the 20-round magazines you can get for it, as well as the 5 and the 10s. I got a good price on it when it first came out. I think I paid about $375. Now they're about $400. But the thing is, I can sit there all day, and it's threaded for suppressor if I want to go that route too. It's got a sort of Picatinny rail on the top. It'll take Picatinny accessories, but the spacing is not mil-spec standard, but it will. You know, I can shoot that thing all day at the range. You know, $10 for a box of 40 rounds of Tula. And I love it. It's just a great rifle. It's relatively lightweight. It weighs about, it's 5.5 pounds dry without the optics on the top of it. So if you ever get a chance, you know, if you guys are in the market for something fun, it does come with a 5-round box mag. The only catch is that your mini 30 magazines, brand new, they cost about $40. But yeah, I do have a Mosin Nagant. I love shooting that, but this thing is just my all-around. Not necessarily my SHTF go-to rifle, but the fact that it takes the same ammunition as my AK-47 makes it even more budget-friendly, which is a lot of what I try to push on the channel. So for me, that's once you get set up on it, that's an awesome rifle. You can adjust the trigger between 3.5 and 5 pounds, 5.5 pounds.
What optic was that?
This is just the X-Aegis that I'm testing. It's a $50 scope, and I've shown it off in a couple of videos. This is it's probably overkill, 6 to 24, 50. And I mean, I've run the 3 to 9x40s on it. It's just an inexpensive optic. I'm actually, after this deer season, I'm going to use this in January. In fact, I just took it out again on Friday and put the Hornady SST rounds through it. Had no trouble doing a 1-inch group at 100 yards. And then I had about 3 inches of bullet drop at 200 yards, but it's also a 16-inch barrel. So I think you lose a lot of energy once you get past 150 yards. So ballistically, it's going to be close to a 30-30.
You know that if you learn how to shoot the gun, you don't need them big magazines full of bullets.
No, I just like the idea that you have that 20 round. I like it, because when I range test, I can do less pausing to reload. I have the 20-round box, and I can kind of shoot as I please, and then eventually decrease it. But it's nice having that flexibility of going 5, 10, or 20. Or if you're going to go varmint hunting, you know, you can have the 20 rounds and go after coyote. Yeah.
That's something anti-gunners don't understand because they don't shoot. A lot of times, having that 30-round mag, 20-round mag, whatever it is a time saver. And when you're paying by the hour at some ranges, then the more time you can save by having preloaded mags or having higher capacity mags, the more money you save. And that might sound kind of silly to somebody who's never shot, but I mean, there are times where having a low-profile mag helps, like when it's in the lead sled or something like that.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Or if there's a legal reason for hunting. But otherwise, if that high-capacity mag isn't weighing it down or blocking the way you're holding the rifle or mounting it on a set of bags or something like that, if it comes down to paying by the hour, not paying by the day, or paying by the half hour in some cases, having those come in real handy.
Oh, definitely.
Well, see, now, I never think of crap like that because I don't have to pay. Range.
When I lived in a different city than where I live now, I used to go to indoor ranges almost all the time, and you'd pay by the half hour. But now that I'm living where I'm at, 10 minutes away, I've got a DNR range that's outdoor, so it's $4 all day.
Well, I pay like March. I pay a yearly membership, and it's kind of expensive. I mean, I pay $350, but I get unlimited use of the indoor or outdoor range.
Yeah, with a flat rate, it's not a bad deal. But if you're paying by the half hour or by the hour, then having more mags, higher capacity mags, things like that, as long as that's not affecting the way you're shooting the firearm, it does become more economical over time. The range I go to has a 6-round limit in any firearm. The only exception is the M1 Garand because of the 8-round in-block clip. And it's not because they're anti-gun. It's not because they're trying to force gun control on you or anything else. It has to do with target changes. If you've got, say, a 30-round mag and you've pulled the trigger twice and they call target change, they're going to fire off what you've got loaded, fire off what you got loaded, clear your weapon, step behind the line, blah, blah, blah. They will wait for you to empty your rifle or handgun if you want to. Well, if you've got 27 more rounds, we're all waiting on you, dude. And they don't allow rapid fire there, and they don't do that because of the noise, because if they allow rapid fire, The rich people who live on the other side of the lake will keep greasing the pockets of the local politicians and have the range go bye-bye. So we have to fire slow fire. It's 1 round every 3 seconds. So if you got 27 rounds left in your mag and 1 round every 3 seconds, everybody's standing behind a yellow line with their targets, waiting on you, tapping their toe, going, come on, buddy. So it's really more of a courtesy thing. But when we get newbies come down there, they get all ticked off that they can't do mag dumps and they can't load full 30 round. And it's like, look, dude, it's $4 all day. If you want to go do mag dump with 30 round, go pay $20 every half hour at this other range, you know? So you have to trade. You have to kind of give and take on that.
Here's the Ruger Ranch with the 20 round box mag in it. That's what it looks like. Yeah, that looks kind of cool. And it does work with the bipod flakes in it. It does take it. It does clear it. So, you know, you're looking at $40 magazines, but at the same time, I like that flexibility. So, you know.
And it probably isn't any more expensive than the 5 rounder, is it?
No, they're actually, if you go on like eBay or Amazon, you can buy the Ruger magazines for $29. It doesn't matter if you get the 5, the 10, or the 20, they're all $30. They're $34, $35 in a gun store, but yeah, if you go online, they're about $30.
That thing sticking out the bottom of that gun makes it look like farm implement.
Well, you know, there's a lot of farmers that carry those things, so yeah.
You know, Tony, when I hold my AR-15, I actually use that 30 round magazine and put it up against my left forearm to brace it. That's the way I was taught to shoot it. And when I put a lower capacity mag in there, I've got I know I've got a 10 and I've got an 8. I think I've got a 5. But or even a 20 round is too small. I can't use it to brace it against my forearm. So whether it's full or it's empty, it actually helps me.
The AR gets passed because it was designed to have that thing sticking out the bottom of it.
Bring it back one more time. Last time I'll interrupt you guys with the Ruger. This is my hunting ammo. This is the Hornady SST. 123 grain ammo. It's 50 rounds for $27. What's that, Tony?
The idea we don't care.
No, I'm just saying if you want to get an economical hunting rifle, this is my deer round. It's going to do a great job. You can get into it, practice with it as much as you want. Cold hammer forged barrel. You don't have to worry about shooting out the bore. So I'm just saying, as you know, if you want a good rifle, I highly recommend it. It's awesome.
Something that we didn't touch on the precision side. How much does it move when it heats?
It doesn't. Oh, dude, I'll sit there and I'll do no. It doesn't open up that much at all. No, it's amazing. I'll sit there and do whenever I do my shooting and stuff. I've already warmed up the barrel by the time I start shooting it. No, I don't really notice it at all. It seems to handle the heat really well. I've shot in the summertime and the winter with it. So it's pretty good. Hey, we do have a question from Calaveras 32 Special. Is a Hungarian M44 Mosin Nagant worth $100? I found one on Gunbroker for bid. The current bid is $101. Absolutely, any Mosin's worth $100 right now. I mean, you know, Matt bought his and did his little sporterized version of his, and you know, he put about $250 into it. But yeah, you know, I wouldn't be surprised if that Hungarian M44 goes for $500 or $600 by the end of the auction. But
I was going to say, ain't they going for like $350?
Oh, now an entry level basic with 9130 whatever. It's $375.
I'd like to make a request.
Yeah.
If he buys it, can he do a review video on it? I'd like
to go up to California to do it. So I've got a Mosin. I've done videos on my Mosin before.
No, it's just when I see Mosin, I typically see the Soviet ones. So when somebody's got one from a satellite country, you said this one's Hungarian?
That's what it said. Right? Yeah, Hungarian M44.
Yeah, it's going to have a different crest on it. It may have Russian stamps and Hungarian. You know, you don't know if they started off originally with a Russian rifle and retooled it, or if or redid it in an arsenal, or if they made it from scratch, or just some up close. And does it have something special, different that the Hungarians did that the Russians didn't do, or something like that? We're called Patriot did a short video on his Polish M44, and I put a little comment in there asking him to do a video like doing a close-up of the crest or some of the markings, or just explain maybe what makes it a little bit different than, say, a Soviet M44. I think it's great that the satellite countries made their own clones, but sometimes they would put their own style on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, wartime, man, I've got like I got whatever the last year for the hex receiver is. I have one of those behind me locked up, and the fit and finish on that compared to the 1944 Tula, the wartime Tula, it's like night and day. The Tula looks like a beat up, bashed up car, and the hex receiver is just like a nice, sleek, smooth. I mean, it's unreal. because they were so busy trying to fight off the Germans. There was no time for the fine polishing and the fine finish on those rifles. This thing's like, it looks like it was just kind of chucked through a press and thrown out into somebody's hands, which it probably was in 44. Yeah,
I will say for that price, if you've got the money, you can get it. Because
you're not. I mean, unless you buy it for like $1,000, you're not going to lose money on it. It's going to slowly appreciate over time.
It's not just that; it'll join that list of the one that got away.
Yeah, like
I had an opportunity to buy an M44 from my buddy who sold me the Sporterized Enfield, and I did the same thing. I ho-hummed about it, and a year later I go, "You still got that 44?" No, I sold it like a week after I talked to you. It's like, damn.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So, okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead and call it. We've covered the topics that we needed to cover, and so we're going to go ahead and just let everybody finish up, put a little plug in for their channel. So, Ghost, I want to thank you for joining in. Sandhills was with us, and also, who else left us? We had Ghost, Sandhills.
Gizzard Gary.
Yeah, Gizzard Gary was with us for a while there. Thank you, guys. Ellis was with us for a while. So thank you guys for joining in the panel. Like I said, you never know. Sometimes for an hour, sometimes for 2, sometimes for 3. So, David, we'll go ahead and start off with you. Any plugs for the channel on YouTube? Anything we can be expecting in the future?
Yeah, I'll put out probably 1 or 2 videos this week. And if you guys want to check out my channel, please feel free. Let me know what you think. Views are always appreciated.
Cool, cool.
And always, thanks for having me, Travis. It's always a good time being on the show. Great conversation.
Yeah, I might be talking to you about that EC9S too, just to kind of pick your brain with it a little bit, since it's such a new gun for me. So,
hey, isn't that the same gun as the
LC9S?
It looks just exactly like my LC380.
Yeah, it's 1 inch longer and 1 inch taller than an LCP, if I'm not mistaken. It's the same design, function. It's got the Security 9 has the same trigger. It's just the budget-friendly version of the LC9S, and you get 1 mag with it. It's got a little bit less. It doesn't have the no adjustable sights. The sights are machined into the slide.
How about doing a review where you say, instead of buying a Sky, get this?
Oh, I've always said don't buy a Sky. What are you talking about? No, not always. When I first started
I mean for that person who's got $200 burning in their pocket, they got that itch, and they're like, I'll go get this cheap Sky. No, go get the EC9S.
For my unboxing video, I did a little comparison. Should you go with the PT111 G2 or this, because they're basically the same price. I think I paid $220 before tax. You can buy a PT111 G2 or G2C, G2S for $200, $210 before taxes. So I mean, there's a lot of good, just little $200 concealed carry, pistols that are out there, smaller pistols that are out there right now. Cool. All right. So, Mark, moving on to you. What can we expect in the future? As long as we still have a YouTube channel, what's the future?
Yeah. So, I'm just going to continue to evolve as I go. I'm looking at doing a few other different formats with some of my videos, but here for the near future, we're looking at doing some long range precision shooting, something I just got into this year. I've got, like I've mentioned, I'm going to do a couple follow-up videos on the G2C, Taurus G2C. And let's see what else. I've got some body armor, a plate carrier video coming out here pretty soon. So that's kind of what I got going on. And then, like I mentioned, starting doing a weekly vlog on Sunday evening. So, yep.
Okay. And I will, once this video is done, I'll go into the description box, and then also in the chat or the comment section, I'll put the links to your channel. A few guys said that they already went over and subbed to you, so that's cool. Again, got to see you on gunchannels.com, man. We want to see you connect with that community over there. If you get a chance, sign up. The channels are free. Sign up and get a membership and start to get in with the crew. So it's pretty cool. All right. So, I do appreciate you giving us 2 hours of your time on a Saturday morning. I know it's
no problem.
It's a lot of fun talking. We covered a lot of different topics, and it's good stuff too. So. All right, Jim, any final words before we go, man?
I'm going to plug Fit and Fire. I was over here looking at his channel, and the third video on his list was about an AK, so he can't be all bad.
No, that's the with the Iraqi veteran shoot. You showed off a new, was it Brandon Herrera? Or
AK-47 is what I'm seeing.
Yeah, that may one of those may come into my position here soon. So
good stuff.
We'll have to see.
All right. Squib, I'm going to put something on the internal for you. I think it was from Pink, just so you know. I don't know what it is. I didn't click on it, but there you go. So awesome. So, Jim, again, thanks for joining us. Yeah, glad you found a new channel you like. You can learn a lot from it, and maybe we can all start working on our health a little bit more. And
Lord knows I need to do that.
Eat less spam cupcakes, and maybe just go for a walk around the block. All right. Squib, any final words, man, before we call it?
Yeah, Pink, text me because I'm on my phone, so I can't see the internal. Weaseling on the shows all week long. Sometimes the shows get postponed or whatnot because life gets in the way. Family first.
You got a job and kids, and yeah, I hear you.
So lock and load on the Hawaii Volcano Squad channel on Monday nights at 11:30 Eastern.
Okay. And
then 2A Tuesday on the Sandhill Shooters channel, Sandhill Shooter channel on Tuesday nights at about 10:30 Eastern. And then on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern, Rick's Life as I See It does Shooting with Disabilities. And then Budget Guns and Gear Review is doing a Friday 7 p.m. show, 7 p.m. Eastern, but he's thinking about switching it to Sundays at 7 p.m. I know he had to postpone his Friday show till tomorrow, but I try to weasel in on those shows, and on occasion I get in on some other shows, sometimes not gun channels shows, but I weasel in here and there. And I've got a channel. It's got lame videos, nothing special, and I need to make improvements, but that's kind of on the back burner. Thanks for the invite.
Hey, no problem, man. No problem. Real quick, Calaveras, I hope you get that rifle. He says he just dropped a bid on it, so hopefully you'll pick it up. Man, it's the Mosin. That thing's not going to drop in price, so trust me on that. Tony, any final words, man, before we go?
Oh, shit. Let's see if I can parse it down to something. No.
Where do we be? No. Yeah, just be good. Don't hurt anybody. Be a good person. Heck yeah, man. So, Tony, thanks for joining us like you always do. It's always good having you here.
I want to toss out a plug for Rick.
Yeah.
He's going to do a show this afternoon at, 2 p.m. Central, so 3 p.m. Eastern. I won't get to be on it today, but I'll toss the plug out anyhow.
That's Rick's Life as I See It?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So you can check that out on the gun channels, over on gun channels, and I should be posted over on YouTube also, but go to gun channels first.
It's a hard show for me to be on because he likes to cut it off in an hour.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that can be, especially if you guys are really in deep into a topic, you never know what if you're going to be done talking about it or not. So, yeah.
Heck, I'm just getting warmed up in an hour.
No doubt, man. Heck yeah. So, all right. Well, hey, guys, thanks for joining us. We should be back with another episode next week. That'll be episode 64. This was episode 63, where we had Mark from Fit and Fire with us today talking about his channel and doing a little gun talk with you. We all shared our favorite rifles. Had a pretty good discussion today. We also talked about getting into precision shooting on a budget, talking about some of the basic gear you can do to get into, you can do without breaking the bank. So, guys, that is it. So thanks for joining us today. Again, guys, have fun. I want you to be safe, and always we'll talk to you soon. Hopefully we'll be back next Saturday, 8 a.m. Central Time, so do check it out. All right, take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye, Felicia.
Bye.
Adios, Felicia.